gentlemen, boys and girls, Quad City sports fans of all ages, Town Square Media is proud to present to you the best Quad City sports talk radio show in the world. With the face who runs the place, T-Roy, the OG on the marquee, J-Bird, and the cat who runs the chat with the stats, Statman Surge. We are Don't Hassle Us, We're Local. We're not a Quad City sports talk radio show. We're not the Quad City sports talk radio show. We are your Quad City sports talk radio show. Welcome to the conversation, Quad Cities. But first, the Dawn.
It's a beautiful hump day out here in the Quad Cities today. Sun is out, guns are out. Sergi, T-Roy, and J-Bird in the house. And you're listening to Don't Hassle Us Local on AM 1170, the K-Bobarino.
It is a nice day out.
I know.
And is it supposed to be for the next week too? Is it supposed to warm up again at the beginning of it?
Today and tomorrow.
Today,
little
tomorrow,
bit of
then we
rain?
get a cold front sometime tomorrow, and then the weekend's supposed to be sunny in the 30s, 40s, and then,
Oh, look at
You
that.
should have been a weatherman, T-Roy.
yeah, I listen to those clowns. I don't know why.
Well, that's exciting. Nice weather. Iowa.
30s next week, upper 30s.
Yeah.
Got Illinois at Iowa this week for our senior day.
We got Thanksgiving coming up.
Thanksgiving coming up. All kinds of things.
I mean, it's turkey Thanksgiving, right, guys?
What?
It should always be turkey Thanksgiving.
I don't know.
As
any
opposed to-
different.
I mean, you know,
What do you mean?
some people prefer ham over the turkey.
Well, that's why you go buy
Depends on the size of the gathering.
you go buy a ham
Some people do
turkey.
both.
There's 3 people, you don't need a turkey.
Well, and you can even buy the lump of turkey breast and then cut that
Sure.
up too.
Do whatever you want, it's America.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, it's the Hy-Vee thing is buy a ham, get a free turkey.
Yeah. But everybody assumes that you got like 45 people at the house. So.
No, you get 45 people when you have a Friendsgiving, right, Serge?
That's right.
That's when you get 45 people and more around.
Or 2 or none.
Yeah.
Depends on your friends list.
Maybe 23. Who knows?
Depends on your mood.
Some people are stuck at 23.
Who knows? Or maybe
Some people
one-
can't get off that 23 number.
Mine are dropping like flies. It's awesome.
Who knows? I don't know what to tell
Go to
you.
McDonald's drive-thru Thanksgiving. It'll be a great time.
I say go to Chick-fil-A.
I hate Chick-fil-A.
I love Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A sucks.
No,
Really?
it doesn't.
Yes, it
But it's
does.
not up there. Like that's not all the end all. I mean, Randazzo was on here. He loves the place.
Yeah.
I mean, if,
It's a chicken sandwich.
yeah, but I think they do it better than anybody else. Sorry.
Wendy's is right next door.
That Wednesday sucks. That is the worst Wednesday.
They still get a spicy chicken.
The good Wendy's is
Fantastic.
the one in Bettendorf.
That one's good, too.
The one in Bettendorf is excellent. The one next to Chick-fil-A stinks. We went there one time. That was the worst service I ever had. Oh, I hated it. Ugh, I won't go back to that one.
Just not eat fast food, too. Probably
yeah.
shouldn't be doing that.
Well, you guys
All of us.
ate. I didn't eat today. I'm trying to starve a cold still.
Serge had something from a bistro, and I had mine from the wife's bistro.
Had some scores last night, some games. We had Tuesday night action. Eastern Illinois upset Northern Illinois 45-17.
You?
No, Eastern Michigan.
Oh, you said Eastern Illinois.
Northern Illinois.
Oh,
Directional schools.
yeah.
Ohio crushed Bowling Green 66-24. Eagles opened up the Eastern Michigan. Opened up at +4.5, but that ended up being by +3 by kickoff, and that was a dead giveaway that the pros were on their side. And Ohio opened up at -17.5, closed by 21 and won by 42. Both overs cashed as well. Today there are 39 college basketball games, 11 NBA games, and 2 NHL games, and a pair of college football games which to choose from. There are some early things to look at as far as Penn State, Ohio State, if you're looking at any for lines movement-wise, and also Minnesota at Northwestern and Texas at Baylor. We'll talk about that later. Last night in the NBA, T-Roy's league,
I hate it. You know
the Lakers 112-107. LeBron James now is the only person in NBA history to have a triple-double against every team in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you trade teams like people trade socks. Whatever.
Still pretty impressive.
Good for him.
Right. But I like Russell's stat better.
He's got the most triple-doubles of all.
No. That he's the only team that he's missing is Oklahoma City Thunder, getting a triple-double against them. Because he's played for them every year except for this year. That's why. It's like T-Roy said, it's easy to get triple-doubles against all these teams and you keep flopping around.
When is that
He's a
going to happen?
flopper, too.
When's that game coming up? he's going to end up throwing. He's going to end up doing the Ricky Davis to get that triple-double.
I don't think he's going to have to.
New Orleans Pelicans beat the Portland Trail Blazers in Carmelo Anthony's return. They beat them 115-104. He had 10 points. He had attempted 14 shots. So, and Golden State Warriors went on the road, beat the Memphis Grizzlies 115-95, and the Sacramento Kings beat the Phoenix Sun 120-116. Tonight, the Bulls take on the Pistons. Pistons are 4-9. The Bulls are 4-10. The T-Wolves take on the Jazz. Other games out here notable: 76ers. My 76ers, they're taking on the Knicks. Celtics at the Clippers. No Kawhi Leonard still. He's got a knee contusion.
He's managing that load, buddy.
Well, this is real. This is a real time. This is a real. This is a real thing. He's got a bum knee. So, Milwaukee Bucks are at the Atlanta Hawks.
Bum, all right.
It would not.
January 20th, we have the Thunder at the Rockets.
January 20th.
There's Russ's chance.
There you go.
Thunder at the Rockets. Oh, yeah.
A little belated birthday present for Serge and I, and a little early birthday present for yourself.
A triple-double. He becomes a second in history. So then what happens? Then do we make an argument that Russell Westbrook is better than Michael Jordan?
The headline, the bottom line on ESPN is going to be, is Russell Wilson now the greatest basketball player on the planet?
Russell Westbrook, but yes.
Westbrook, sorry.
I mean,
Wilson,
that's what happened. That's what I woke
No,
up to
I'm
this
sick
morning.
of this on the planet. You're not playing the Monstars. This isn't Space Jam.
Not yet.
Is Kawhi Leonard the best NBA player on the planet?
Ask Ancient Aliens over here. He'll tell you that.
Because this week it was
soon.
LeBron. Is LeBron the best basketball player on the planet?
Well, being that the NBA is on Earth.
Well, I haven't been everywhere on the planet. I haven't been to Area 51. There might be a better basketball player there. Who knows?
I think they're dead.
We've got some guests that we're going to talk to on the phone. We're going to talk to Jason Mason out of the Des Moines area.
They're the best guests on the planet.
His son is the one who did the Iowa Hype video, and we put that on a blog for ESPN1170am.com. We shared that on Facebook and Twitter as well. Check it out. They did a good job.
We just add on the planet like a couple things.
He's got the greatest Iowa Hype video on the planet.
There you go.
Because why we know that? I mean, even though it's loosely strongly based off of George Kittle's Hype video.
I think there's some kid over in China making Iowa Hawkeye Hype videos.
He's got more. He's got more views than George Kittle does for his Iowa Hawkeye Hype video. So, we'll talk to him, and then later on in the hour, we're going to talk to Emily Van Buskirk about the college football playoff rankings that came out, and really just speculate where it's going to go. Because with Georgia at 4 and LSU at 1, they're on a course, right, to clash at SEC championship. Yeah. So one's going to go out. The idea here is really to ask, is LSU a lock here at 1, or will Ohio State beat them if they jump over? Will they jump them if they beat Penn State and Michigan, because they're still left on their schedule? Then you have the Big Ten championship. Their strength of schedule is it's like the number 4 left in the nation as far as schedule is. I mean, that's going to be a big deal, shouldn't it? But we'll ask her about that as well. Anyway, like I said, still trying to shake a cold. I don't know where it came from. I hate it. It's driving me nuts. Absolutely nuts.
Hate. Do it like that.
Yeah, make a song out of it.
Gonna shake it up, No,
don't do that.
You're a good dancer.
In the second hour, we're gonna have Bobby Metcalf. We're gonna talk to him a little bit about what we kind of ended with yesterday, the Baseball Hall of Fame, and who's gonna go in and whatnot. Who we think's gonna go?
Anybody.
Bobby will put some people in.
I bet he doesn't say. Who's he put in that from that list yesterday?
Derek Jeter's going to go in.
He's not. I bet he says no to Jeter.
No.
Why would you say no to Jeter?
But Metcalf is going to Metcalf Jeter. Watch.
We'll find out who.
I guarantee you won't. He doesn't want Schilling in.
We'll see.
Well, and I know he doesn't like the steroid guys.
Well, we'll ask.
So yeah, if Bobby was voting, there'd be 0.
I think we'll probably more. I think we'll still make the case for Gary Sheffield. I feel like this is the third year in a row we've done this for him.
I'm predicting Bobby right now.
You're predicting Bobby? He's going to do that?
He's going to Metcalf the entire thing.
All right. Well.
Ow.
It's all right. Just relax.
It's just my ears.
Huh?
It's no big deal.
Yeah. So I'm going to play this for you real quick.
Yeah.
All right. Here we go. This is the hype video.
Welcome to Iowa. This is the Hawkeye State. We are Iowa nice.
What's that music from?
But on Saturdays,
Ask Jason.
It's from a movie.
black. When you step into Kinnick, you better be ready. We got big hits and the loudest fans in football.
She gets rid of it, one-on-one in the end zone. Caught! Touchdown!
In this arena, giants have fallen.
Pick six to start the game.
So if you want to win, you better be prepared. You're gonna ask yourself one question. Are you ready? You ready to fight? Fight for Iowa! Here we go! Let's fight! Let's fight for Iowa! Woo!
All right, so that's Matthew. He's 5. And they live in the Des Moines area. And what that is based off of is the George Kittle Iowa Hawkeye hype video that they premiered against Miami of Ohio the first game. And you can see how there's some similarities to it. This is the George Kittle one.
When you step into Kinnick Stadium, you better be ready. You better be ready for a fight. You're going to get a knockdown, drag out, 10-round battle full of big hits, truck sticks, electrifying plays.
To the corner of the end zone, caught. That's a touchdown! Touchdown, Iowa! She gets rid of it, one-on-one in the end zone. Caught! Touchdown!
6 seconds of hell. The Giants have fallen.
Picked off. Pick six to start the game.
Haymakers thrown.
Bedford has time throw. Caught! Touchdown! Touchdown, Iowa! George Kittle has his second on the day.
The final knockout has been delivered. Are you ready? Here we go. It's time to fight for Iowa.
All right. So there they have the two. And I think the great part about it, one, and Jason will tell a story, but the idea that he's got 7,000 more views than George Kittle on YouTube already, and they just released it 2 days ago or 3 days ago, is awesome. But we need to take our first break right away, so that way we're back in time from our ads to talk to Jason, who's going to give us a call at 12:20.
Front Street Brewery, the oldest brew pub in Iowa, is nestled right along the bank of the mighty Mississippi River, and it's served Davenport since 1992 with awesome beers like the Davenport Gold, the Wise Guy, the Raging River, and the oh-so-popular Cherry Bomb Blonde. Check out the Facebook page for their food and drink specials, or visit the webpage at www.frontstreetbrew.com. The restaurant is at 208 East River Drive Tap Room in the Freight House Complex, so please get down to Front Street and try them out today.
This is Matt Koss of the Quad City Times, and you are listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
ESPN 1170 AM.
When the soil around your foundation shifts, it can cause serious problems for your home, including bowing, leaning, or cracked basement walls. Helitech's patented wall anchoring system will provide a permanent solution for bowing basement walls and will get the job done right the first time. For basement wall repair, trust Helitech, your hometown foundation repair contractor for over 30 years. Soil constantly expands and contracts, putting pressure against your foundation, causing it to bow or crack. Helitech is the area's only contractor that uses AB Chance, an American-made wall anchoring system to provide a permanent solution for bowing or cracked foundation walls. Helitech proudly services Central Illinois, the Quad Cities, Central Missouri, Southern Illinois, Southeast Missouri, Western Kentucky, and the greater St. Louis region. When it comes to basement cracks, don't ignore the problem. Trust Helitech to heal your home. Give yourself peace of mind knowing they will find the root of the problem, the solution, and heal it for a lifetime.
Heal your home with Helitech. At a time of personal loss, we each express our feeling in our own way. Whelan Presley Funeral Homes and Crematory recognize that no one service is right for everyone. That's why we offer various options for the most appropriate service, the most fitting farewell, and personalized attention to detail. Whelan Presley Funeral Homes and Crematory, Rock Island, Milan, Reynolds, and the Knox Chapel.
Since 1978, Advantage Advertising has been your one and only choice for promotional products and corporate apparel, all with your company's logo. At Advantage Advertising, you'll find products that are perfect for golf outings, company anniversaries, holiday parties, or health, wellness, and safety programs. We're accredited by the Better Business Bureau and a long-standing member of the Quad Cities Chamber. Visit AdvantageAdvertising.us to see all of the possibilities. Advantage Advertising, a proud supporter of Iowa State Athletics.
ESPN 1170 AM is the Quad Cities sports leader and your home of the local sports show. Don't hassle us, we're local. Listen for a chance to win everything from tickets to free food. Every time you win and pick up your prize at the ESPN 1170 AM Pepsi ticket window, we'll give you a free Pepsi for the road as well. It's like winning twice. Get more chances to win by downloading the ESPN 1170 AM app or by going to ESPN1170am.com. Hey hunters, time to get ready for fall hunting season. Get your hunting gear, arrows, and bow tuned up at R&R Sports in Bettendorf. Try out a new bow or crossbow on their new indoor range before you buy it. Bows from Matthews, Hoyt, Bowtech, and PSE are in stock. Crossbows from Raven and PSE. Maybe it's new guns and ammunition you want. Shop guns from Benelli, Stoker, Franchi, Springfield, Ruger, and Remington. For fishing, R&R Sports has it all, including live bait, minnows, and crawlers. Their bait is guaranteed to catch fish or die trying. Online at rnrsportsinc.com.
When you're listening to the best play-by-play, you know you're listening to the Quad Cities sports leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
All right, everybody, welcome back to Don't Ask Us or Local on AM 1170 KBOT, brought to you by our friends at Dunright Satellite and Dish.
Yeah, just before we went to break, we talked briefly about Matthew Mason's hype video that he made and played that and played the George Kittle hype video that was there. And Matthew's father, Jason's going to be calling in soon. And it's pretty neat, and it's a fun story to hear. I talked to Jason yesterday, and it's cool that him and his son got to put it together. And a 5-year-old uses that imagination to do that. So he'll be calling in here in just a minute. But can't tell me that doesn't get you excited. I mean, I've been to 3 games at Kinnick now, and even that when that video comes on, that's good. But the thing is I tried to look at a link for the Big Ten Athlete of the Year, Fan of the Year, and it wasn't.
It was fake the whole time.
It was what? It
was fake the whole time.
No, they don't. They don't do it anymore.
Oh, they just don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
They don't do what anymore?
Big Ten Fan of the Year.
It was sponsored by somebody. It used to be sponsored by Duluth Trading Company, and it's not. They don't do it anymore. So I don't think they have it.
So the title's been stripped.
I don't know. Because I wanted to get the kid. I wanted to get the kid a link like
vacated.
I wanted to. Hold on. He's trying to call my phone.
Fake.
Fake. I wanted to make a link to that we could nominate him. All right, here's Jason. All right, ready, T-Roy?
I'm ready.
All right.
Jason, welcome to Don't Hassle Us Local, buddy. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
You're on the air with Jay. I talked to you yesterday, Jason, Serge, and T-Roy, so there'll be voices coming from all over different directions and whatnot. But, Jason, we were talking about, before we went to commercial break, we played the hype video that you and your son Matthew did. We played George Kittle's as well. We were just talking briefly about the video and how much we enjoyed it. But tell us about the video, how it came to be.
Yeah, so we're big Hawkeye fans in our family. Go to all the games we have. I've been going with my dad since I was 6 years old. My son started coming 2 years ago, and we saw that video, the first game, right before the players come out. And my son, I mean, he's like everything Hawkeyes right now. He just eats it up. And he saw that video, and he's like, Dad, we got to make that. And so a little backstory, I just do some amateur video stuff with, like, you know, my kids, just like fun, stupid videos. They made like a little Star Wars prequel movie and just some fun stuff. So we're like, okay, yeah, bud, well, life happens, things get busy. So I finally got around to it this last week. We make it, I share it thinking maybe it'll be viewed 20 to 30 times by my family. And next thing we know, like the count is going up like crazy. And like I have friends start texting me, they're like, dude, you're at like 1,000 views. You're at 5,000, you're at 10,000. Next thing I know, I get a message from the University of Iowa, and I'm like, oh, here it is. They're going to tell me copyright. I got to take it down. And they were like, we love it. Tell us more about it. So yesterday, it's been like a whirlwind 48 hours, like just crazy, like people wanting to know about it, share it. Matthew is going to get a go on the field on Saturday for the game now. I found that out after I talked to you yesterday, Jay.
Okay.
And they're going to play it on the Jumbotron during the second quarter.
Oh, that's amazing.
Now, help me. I'm trying to recognize the music in the background. That's from a movie trailer, and I can't recall which one.
Not that I know of. So there's like some free sites for like YouTube background music, and I got it from there. So it might be from a movie, but as far as I know, it's just like one of those royalty-free songs you can use.
Okay.
So, but yeah, it does sound very like cinematic. Like,
it does, yes, but it sounds great either way.
So I went back and looked, and you and I talked briefly yesterday. I went back and looked George Kittle. I know someone shared it, and he did the fire emojis on Twitter, and then Akram Wadley, he liked the video too.
Yeah.
So that, I think that is awesome that they're going to do that. Is it any other thing come out from like George Kittle or anything?
No, not yet. So, I had all kinds of people tell me like, oh, I know George's cousin's sister's former roommate. Like, he's going to see it. And I'm like, okay, well, thanks, whatever. But I have heard word that he has seen it, but he's just busy, which I'm like, I get it. He's got a million things going on right now. So a lot of people have been messaging me that we need to see a Kittle versus Mini Kittle hype video after the season. And I'm like, yeah, let's make this happen.
So where did the nickname Mini Kittle come from?
So one of the local sportscasters here in town shared it and just said Mini Kittle, and it just took off. And so there's been some different. He's been called Mini Kittle. He's been called Iowa Hype Kid. He's been called Mini Kid, like with the KID.
Yeah. They're missing one.
Yeah, there's one big one, right?
Little Kittle.
Yeah, there's a huge.
Yeah,
that's the one. Like, even when I was writing it, because I talked to you beforehand, and when I was writing the blog, I was like, well, he said Mini Kittle, but I think Little Kittle would have been right. But I'm not gonna, not quote him correctly. So yeah, we kept with Mini Kittle because that's what you said.
Yeah. So yeah, it's been crazy. He didn't even know all this stuff was happening yesterday. He was at school, and I picked him up from school, and I'm like, dude, I have so much to tell you. And it's like, I felt like I was like this 6-year-old version of myself, just, enthralled with everything and the Hawkeyes. And, this morning Ricky Stanzi liked it. I'm like, what? No way. So for me, it's been almost more exciting.
Yeah. Well, and then you mentioned it. We were talking before the air that, you said like, oh, you'd think maybe 50 people would watch it. And girls, you've got more views than George Kittle's does on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're at 27, probably at 28 by now, and he's at 20,000. So, no, it's great. So, all right, obviously some of the dialogue is loosely based off of George's hype video. What did you and Matthew do? How did you guys come about your dialogue and how you wanted to present it?
Yeah, so we sat down and we wrote a script out together. He kind of said what he wanted to say, and at first it was basically every single thing Kittle said. And I'm like, well, bud, we got to kind of mix it up a little bit. And I'm a huge fan of the Brad Banks video from last year, just because my family has a history with the wave, and Brad kind of touched on that. And we got done writing this kind of combined script. Matthew helped me. We tweaked it a little bit, but a lot of it was his ideas, what he wanted to change. And we realized we had this really long combined script, and I was like, I think we need to split it into two and then make another one at a later time that kind of talks about the wave, talks about traditions, and kind of incorporates our family's history with how special the wave is to us. So we actually have an idea for a second hype video, which I'm like, well, I'm excited to shoot it and release it now, maybe next season. So
Yeah, you mentioned that so Brad Banks did a video last year about the wave, and like you said, it's a little bit longer. Your video was a little bit longer, so you split it up. So, and that one's going to be more about the wave and how it touches on your family?
Yeah, we just thought if we did a video that was kind of like about tradition and, old tradition and then the new tradition of the wave. And just real quickly, my aunt's had season tickets for 40 years. She got my dad involved when he was in college, and he had season tickets, and he brought me as a 6-year-old. My brother started coming with us, and then he passed away from spinal cord cancer, but he was treated at the university hospital there the whole time. So many Saturdays, back in the day, we would be with him at the hospital, walk across the street to the game, then go back to the hospital. So when they started the wave up a few years ago, it was like the most, gut-wrenching tribute that they could ever do. Like, it has so much meaning to us because we lived through that, and it's a cool tradition anyway. It's the best tradition in college football.
Absolutely.
But to us, it meant so much more. So,
and I think, and the fact that you guys get to do a video for that and it does touch home for you is awesome. Now, so you started taking when he was 3.
Yeah. Yep.
That's pretty impressive.
We took him when he was 3 to some games. He asked if he could come in, and it just happened we had an extra ticket that was going to go to waste. So we're like, well, what's the harm? Worst case scenario, we have to leave at halftime. And he stayed the entire game, and he was asking questions, which football is kind of a hard game to understand when you're a kid or whatever. But he's asking questions that I'm like, man, he's like, starting to kind of comprehend this. And every week after that, he's like, can I go in? Can I go in? And even towards the end of the season, I would try to talk him out of it because I'm like, bud, it's cold. It's like snowsuit weather. And he's like, that's okay. And so, he'd come in, and towards the end of the game, I'm like, hey, are you ready to go? Because I'm kind of getting cold. And he's like, no, I want to stay. So, yeah, he's only missed one night game last year because his mother didn't think he should stay up that late. But
moms ruin everything, don't they? I mean, my wife ruins everything for me and my child.
Yeah, I know they do. They're such the voice of reason, they think, anyway.
The worst.
There's no voice of reason on football Saturday.
Exactly. So, yeah, so he's come to every game the last 2 years. This year he came to the night games, and, he's passed out in the car 5 minutes after the game ends, but he loves it. He lives it.
So is he Iowa just across the board everything? Does he follow basketball too, wrestling?
Not really. Yeah, we're a big wrestling family. Okay. We come to all the home meets, but I never really was a big basketball fan, so I haven't kind of shared that aspect of it with him yet, but I think I'm going to have to because, yeah, he loves everything Iowa right now.
That's awesome. And so, I mean, the whole idea, the things you added in there, were known as Iowa Nice, but on Saturdays things turned black, like all that stuff you guys put together, the dialogue was great, and it's awesome that you got to share that with them, and that's what I was pointing out. When you get to your passion, you make videos, you know how to do it, but then you get to do it with him, and he makes it, I like that he just looks at you and makes it sound like it's so easy. He's like, hey, we should make a video like that.
Yeah.
Like it was just no big deal, that's what you're going to do on Sunday.
Hey, Dad, come on, what are you doing?
Right. Yeah, well, that's what he said, and I'm like, well, but, I'm kind of nervous because I don't do this for a living, so I'm like, well, I don't really know how it's going to look. It's going to be real amateur. And like I said, it's just taken off. And the university, they wanted to share it on their Facebook page, but they don't want links to outside sources because they like to keep everything clean.
Yeah.
So I had to send them a direct copy of it, and they downloaded it and shared it, and their site has like 70,000 views of it.
Oh, wow. So you're closing in on 100,000 total.
Yeah. Oh. And like on Twitter, I think it's got like 30,000 views from the university. So,
wow.
Yeah. So, it's far. And I showed, Matthew saw George Kittle when he was at one of the earlier games this year on the field.
Yeah.
And so I've been kind of prepping him for Saturday, like, okay, bud, there's going to be a lot of people looking at you. So we watched that George Kittle video of him on the field screaming and going nuts. And I'm like, you think you can do that? He's like, oh, yeah. So we'll see what happens Saturday.
That's great. So yesterday you said you're like, well, I'm not too that good at Twitter, whatever else. Have you stepped up your Twitter game in the last 24 hours?
I've kind of learned trial by fire, yeah. So I've been indoctrinated, and there's some of the stuff that still confuses me about it, but I'm like, well, I don't know. So,
what's your handle on Twitter?
That's a great question. That's a great question. So,
well, look us up on Twitter. We're at QC Hassel, and then follow, and we'll be following everything else.
Perfect. I will do that.
Yeah. All right. Well, Jason, I want to thank you so much for your time. And again, I thought it was awesome what you guys did. And I know you're busy. And like you said, people have been calling you. And at the university, you're right. When you get that phone call, that email from the university, first thing you think is, oh boy, it's going to come down. And I think it's awesome that they're sharing into what you and your son did. And I think it's even better that he's going to be on the field. I'll be there on Saturday. So I'll be waiting for him to get the crowd all hyped up in person.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you so much, Jay. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, you got it, Jason. You take care. Go Hawks.
Yep. Yeah, go Hawks.
Bye. All right, that's Jason Mason. You can go to see that video, obviously, like he said, on YouTube. We have a link on ESPN1170am.com. The University of Iowa shared it, and it's also on Twitter as well. And that's just great for Jason and Matthew. And can you just imagine? I mean, he's 5. He's 5. He's going to go up in front of almost 80,000 fans on senior day and get them all hyped up. Like it's nobody's business.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It is. All right, let's take our second break, and we'll be right back.
Van's Pizza and More is now open at the Plex at the corners of Forest and Middle Grove Roads. They have the outstanding daily specials on the Van's Pizza you love. Today is Wednesday. It's $1 off wings and their baked pastas. All you have to do is call Van's at 563-232-1396, and they'll have whatever you ordered hot and ready for you to pick up, or you can have it delivered if you're in Bettendorf. Delivery area is limited, so please ask when you call. That number, once again, 563-232-1396. That's Van's Pizza and More at 5023 Competition Drive in Bettendorf.
This is Lobo from Lobo Salsa. You're listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
ESPN 1170 AM.
At Casey's, we're not just here for made-from-scratch dough, fresh pepperoni, hand-cut veggies, and melty 100% mozzarella cheese. We're here for game night. Here for online ordering. And here for victory celebrations. Now at Casey's, get 2 large single-topping pizzas for just $9.99 each. Casey's, here for handmade pizza, here for good. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
If you're running a business, how much should you invest in retaining your employees? First Midwest Bank has ideas. In today's tight labor market, keeping your employees is more important than ever. A First Midwest banker can help you determine what type of 401k plan to offer. At First Midwest Bank, they're not just bankers, but expert financial advisors. Talk to one today or visit wehaveideas.firstmidwest.com.
Since 1978, Advantage Advertising has been your one and only choice for promotional products and corporate apparel, all with your company's logo. At Advantage Advertising, you'll find products that are perfect for golf outings, company anniversaries, holiday parties, or health, wellness, and safety programs. We're accredited by the Better Business Bureau and a long-standing member of the Quad Cities Chamber. Visit AdvantageAdvertising.us to see all of the possibilities. Advantage Advertising, a proud supporter of Iowa State athletics.
When the soil around your foundation shifts, it can cause serious problems for your home, including bowing, leaning, or cracked basement walls. Helitech's patented wall anchoring system will provide a permanent solution for bowing basement walls and will get the job done right the first time. For basement wall repair, trust Helitech, your hometown foundation repair contractor for over 30 years. Soil constantly expands and contracts, putting pressure against your foundation, causing it to bow or crack. Helitech is the area's only contractor that uses AB Chance, an American-made wall anchoring system to provide a permanent solution for bowing or cracked foundation walls. Helitech proudly services Central Illinois, the Quad Cities, Central Missouri, Southern Illinois, Southeast Missouri, Western Kentucky, and the greater St. Louis region. When it comes to basement cracks, don't ignore the problem. Trust Helitech to heal your home. Give yourself peace of mind knowing they will find the root of the problem, the solution, and heal it for a lifetime.
Heal your home with Helitech.
Score a touchdown on your next new or used purchase at Sexton Ford. With a huge selection of new Ford cars and trucks, you'll feel like you've entered the big game each and every time. You'll be treated like a pro player from sales to service, auto body to parts. Sexton also has a strong bench of mildly used vehicles, too. Why wait? The game's on at Sexton Ford in Moline.
Oh yeah, Sexton Ford is the talk of the town.
ESPN 1170 AM is the Quad Cities sports leader and your home of the local sports show. Don't hassle us, we're local. Listen for a chance to win everything from tickets to free food. Every time you win and pick up your prize at the ESPN 1170 AM Pepsi ticket window, we'll give you a free Pepsi for the road as well. It's like winning twice. Get more chances to win by downloading the ESPN 1170 AM app or by going to ESPN1170am.com.
From local to global, ESPN 1170 has you covered. Your Quad City sports show is here for you. Don't hassle us, we're local with your favorite foursome, T-Roy, Jay-Bird, Surge, and you. Weekdays noon to 2 on the Quad City sports leader. ESPN 1170 AM wants you to be an insider. Get access to great contests at ESPN1170am.com. Brought to you by Necker's Jewelers, where the Quad Cities gets engaged. From the Quad City sports leader, ESPN 1170 AM. When you're listening to the best sports talk in the Quad Cities, you know you're listening to the Quad Cities sports leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
All right, everybody, back here in the Hassle Castle, brought to you by Dunright Satellite and Dish. This is Don't Hassle Us Local on AM 1170, the K Barbarino.
That's right. I want to thank everybody for listening on ESPN 1170. Reminder that you can go ahead and download the app at your App Store or Google Play, ESPN 1170 AM. You can listen to us on your computer at ESPN1170am.com. And, of course, you can listen, leave comments on the Harrington's Pub Facebook comment thread. We're on Facebook Live every Monday through Friday, 12 through 2. I want to thank Jason Mason for calling in. That's Matthew's father, and that's really neat that the University of Iowa is going to put Matthew on the field in the second quarter.
Jason Mason,
Matthew Mason.
Yeah, but Little Kittle.
Little Kittle,
Get
yeah.
it? Jason Mason, Little Kittle.
Well, the dad is Jason, yeah.
I know, but the rhyming of the kid.
That's the one thing. How does everybody go from Iowa hype kid, little kid? Oh, I like that. Mini kid. I like that one too. But the little kiddo came in, yeah. I'm gonna tell you a real quick story, a gambling one, kind of a bad beat.
Oh no, Jay.
Yeah, I mean it's 24-year-old ticket writer at the Circus Sports in Las Vegas. He put $20 on a 12-leg parlay. All right, 11 of them hit. Last one was Oakland Raiders to cover a 10.5-point spread against Cincinnati Bengals. If that hits, he's going to win $50,000.
Yeah.
All right, so he gets it all in there. Now, the crazy thing is that he also had a $20 nine-team college football parlay that hit the day before, so he won $8,000. So after that hit, he put it in the bank. All right, so he's starting to close out. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's starting to see some of this 12-team parlay hit. He says after Utah covered on Saturday night, he logged on to Twitter, which I think he maybe used a couple times since 2009, he said. And then he said he's thinking to himself, there's a lot of money. I'm not exactly sure how to hedge this bet. Do you know about hedging?
Yeah, like you bet.
If it's the last game, what you would do is you'd bet like a lot of money on Cincinnati to cover spread.
Right.
And that way you're only taking a hit of so much money. But at least you're walking away with some money instead of zero.
Mm-hmm.
So he went to Twitter and he went to ESPN Doug Kazarian and he sent a picture of the bet to show that he wasn't making it up. And then he had a lot of people tell him what to do to hedge the bet. And he works overnight. So he woke up and he figured out that he had about a 45-minute window to hedge the bet. So he saw that the line had moved to the Bengals to move up to plus 13. Now, because it was a Sunday, he could only take out $2,200 out of the bank. So he made the bet, plus 13. Because he said if he wouldn't have put the $8,000 in, he just automatically would have done it and put that in there to hedge the bet. So the Raiders ended up winning the game 17-10. Did not cover the 10.5 points. The crazy thing is the Raiders were driving down the field. And instead of going for the touchdown, they kicked the field goal, even though they were up. So yeah, I mean, he ended up winning $10,000 over the weekend on 2 parlays. But can you imagine that? A $20 bet, 12-team parlay, 11 out of 12, and sweating that out.
That's nuts.
It is incredibly nuts. I mean, I've heard of some crazy gambling stories. And the one we talked about earlier in the season was the Joe Burrow for Heisman, and hopefully that kid. I mean, we haven't followed up on that. Hopefully that kid held on to that ticket. But yeah, I mean, sometimes you have to pay attention to in-game lines or whatever else and figure out when to hedge and move on. Want to remind people about as far as fantasy goes and everything else. We do have a DraftKings. The Sunday is up. We have not put up our Thursday night showdown yet, which we'll do that soon. But we'll probably put it up this afternoon and invite people to play. We'll do our team tomorrow. But let's see. We put up yesterday and we made a 20 team, and then I invited all 23 of my friends. T-Roy.
All 23 of them?
Yeah. And as of right now, it's called the QC Hassle Week 12. And right now we have 14 out of 20 people entries, so we have 6 openings left. And it's a 50-50. So $5 get in, top 10 all get paid out.
For DraftKings.
All right,
tomorrow night.
No. This is for Sunday. I'm gonna make Thursdays the showdown today, later on. Tomorrow we'll make our lineup.
Well, I won't be here, but yeah.
Oh, maybe we'll do it later on then.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Let's do it today.
All right. Well, let's do it now, and then we'll get
All
to our
right.
favorites after that. Let's make a contest right now
All
because
right.
you're not going to be here. All right. So, hold on now. We're going to make our Thursday night showdown. NFL.
Okay, and it's Colts and the Texans.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Showdown captain mode. It's one game. Thank you. Thank you for doing that. One game. It's going to be private. It's going to be multiplayer. We're going to do 20 entries. Going to be $2 to get in. Payout to the top 50-50. Yeah. And there we go. I'm going to add all 23 of my friends. They've all been invited, T-Roy. All right, next.
All right. All right. I think in this one we take Houston defense as the captain.
All right. Houston defense as the captain?
This is why. Marlon Mack is out.
Okay.
So's T.Y. Hilton.
Okay.
Jacoby's trying to get it done by himself.
Okay.
All right, so what does that cost us?
It's going to cost us $6,000.
All right. That being said.
All right.
We then take both Deshaun and Jacoby.
Wait. Is it Jacoby or is it? Oh, it is Jacoby. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Deshaun is 11-6.
Okay.
Jacoby's 10-4. 10-4. Good buddy. All right.
All right.
Now what are we looking at? You've got 7.3 left and 22,000 remaining. 7.3 per player. All right. Average per player. 22.
All right. This is what I know we do want.
Okay.
We definitely want Carlos Hyde.
We definitely want Carlos Hyde. Okay. Even though that's a number 6 ranked defense against the run.
I don't care. Take
Okay.
Carlos Hyde.
That was 7,000. So we have 7.52 spots left.
All right. We want. I think we want Deshaun Watson. Or not, but DeAndre Hopkins.
That's going to be 11 out of our 15 that we have left.
And then can we get their tight end? I think his name is
Jack Doyle? Eric Ebron?
No,
Jack
no,
Doyle.
no, for the Texans.
Okay, hold on.
It's
Fells?
Is it Fells?
Yeah, Darren Fells.
Yeah. Do we end up to get him?
I think you might. Hold on. Yes.
There you go.
All right, so here's what you have so far, okay?
You take Deshaun Watson, DeAndre Hopkins.
Yes.
Carlos Hyde. And
Yes.
Darren Fells or
Darren Fells. Yep. And you have 600 left over.
There you go.
That's pretty
We're
good.
heavy Texans, but I'm
Yeah.
telling you, I just think the Texans are going to blow them out.
Yeah, I think so too. All right, let's see. Update entry. All right, we're in. We're in. But Friday, you'll be here to do the NFL showdown over the week,
Yeah.
week 12, though. All right, so just remind everybody on DraftKings, just go to contest. Well, I'll share this link. I'll invite people on the showdown because it's private. If you really want, if you want to be automatically get notifications of it, then add QC Hassel as a friend on DraftKings. I feel like I'm just pandering for more people to follow us on.
DraftKings is going to notice us one day, somehow, some way.
One day.
I don't know what we're going to have to do.
All right.
I don't know what I'm going to do to get you to gamble with us.
No.
We're going to make it happen.
All right. So yesterday when we did the favorites, right?
Yeah.
Talked about all the thing, and I talked to you guys about Vasco, about your favorite and your all-time favorite in football and whatnot, and we didn't get to baseball because when we had Sam on from Big Grove, and thanks to Sam and Coral for coming in, that was nice. We had Sam on, we talked about his favorites of all time, Cincinnati Reds. All right, so we didn't get to baseball. I told you guys we'd talk about it today. So your all-time, we're going with the Cubs here for you, right, T-Roy?
Well, you can do your favorite all-time baseball player.
Okay.
And then you had first base, second base, short, third, catcher, outfielder, pitcher.
Okay. So that's just for your team, or what do you want to do?
No, just your favorite. It doesn't. I mean, what if I grew up as a kid as a Dodger fan, where I might have liked a guy better than I liked a Cub? So.
Yeah. That's it.
All right.
There you go.
Just in case, like, what if Sergi really liked somebody when he was a kid that wasn't a White Sox?
I don't know. Serge is somewhere gonna find the games that Carlton Fisk played first, and then find a game where he played third. And it's just gonna be a lot of Carlton Fisk in here.
I'll just close my browser now.
Played right field. Played right field at one point too. Okay. All right. So where are you starting at?
Favorite baseball player of all time.
My favorite baseball player of all time. Honestly, it's Ryan Sandberg. Mine.
He's up there with me. Sergi?
Jay already said it.
Fisk?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mine's the Hawk, Andre Dawson.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah, we all know I grew up Cub fan, families from the Chicago area, and I mean, when you're my size, you're just a middle infielder at best.
Yeah.
Normally second baseman.
I literally changed my batting stance to be like Andre Dawson.
Changed my batting stance like 10 times.
Well, yeah, but I remember when I
Right.
I remember the first time I saw a picture of my batting stance. Like my bat used to rest on my back.
Yeah.
I was like this, and I never realized it.
Yeah.
And you know, whatever. I changed it, popped it up. Andre, man, made a difference.
Changed it all. Well, I mean, and then when you play wiffle ball, you do everybody's stance, though.
Well,
Do
yeah.
you remember the first time you saw an open stance, and you're like, oh, I'm definitely doing that.
Right.
The open stance, and I think that lasted about...
But the first
maybe
time
one at
someone
bat.
took one at your face.
Yeah, about one at bat. Like, oh, I'm definitely going to step in. I remember, it changes it. You change your stance, whatever. I remember, there's a lot of different ones. All right. Now, what are we doing? Are we going with
All right,
position?
We'll go with favorite first baseman of all time.
Well, mine's Gracie.
Okay. Serge.
I'll go Frank Thomas.
Okay, Big Frank. Yeah,
I'm not a big Frank Thomas guy.
That's fine.
Why do I feel like he's overrated?
Oh, shut up.
I don't think that's true.
Get out of here.
I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just arguments with Parker that
He's
I've had.
Big
over
Frank and your little J.
No,
Intimidated by his size.
Big Hurt.
Big Hurt. You know, there's a little Hurt too. We've taled about this.
I like Frank Thomas.
Who was the little Hurt? You tell me who the little Hurt is. You can say Frank's overrated.
I don't know.
He played for the White Sox. He had a very interesting batting stance. Now that you mentioned it, he'd crouch down real low on that right hind leg and that left leg.
Tim
left leg
Raines?
almost-
Rock Raines?
No, he's a white guy. He's a little Hurt.
Scott Posednik?
No, not Scotty Pods. Little Hurt was Craig Graybeck.
Okay. I gotta come up with. I gotta look
Hey,
at the stats.
thank you, all my hasslers out there backing me up on Frank Thomas. Thank you.
Yeah, I was backing you up.
Thank you, buddy.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to shock the world here. I'm taking Steve Garvey, man. Old number 6, dude.
Steve Garvey?
Dude, did you see that thing on Super 70 Sports? Guy was on a 70s, I think it was on the Charlie's Angels. Dude threw a Chinese star at him. He caught it with his glove and then threw a baseball, hit him in the face, and killed the Chinese terrorist. Yeah, I'll take Steve Garvey.
All right, so 94 was his MVP year, second in a row. And he led the league in a lot there. On base percentage, slugging, OPS, runs scored. He never led the league in home runs. He did hit over, how many did he hit total?
He had to be close to 500.
Yeah, he had 521.
Yeah, I was going to say.
He averaged 36 a season. He batted 301 also.
Yeah.
All right.
And he didn't roid.
I'm sorry.
Jay, he was just big. He was a
I
big hurt.
apologize.
And you see how the ladies look at him when he does those commercials now?
I'm sorry.
Oh, is that the big hurt? Hey.
Hey, I'm sorry your butt hurt over my comments about the big hurt. See what I did there?
No one's laughing at you.
All right. Anyway, I stand corrected.
All right. Moving on to second baseman. Jay, I'm assuming you're taking Rhino.
Yeah.
All right.
No, Jeff Kent.
Sergey, who's your favorite?
I don't
second
know,
baseman?
man. Second baseman's a tough one for me. I mean, there's a lot of greats out there, but my personal favorite, I don't know if I have a personal favorite second baseman, really.
Yeah.
I don't know. Who do you got?
Mine's Rhino.
Okay. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll come back to
I'm going
me.
to leave Serge on the question mark.
Come back to me.
Still finding out. All right, Jaybird. Favorite shortstop? of
You're
all
going to
time?
have to come back to me on that one.
What do you mean?
Well, it's Nomar. That's what it is. Nomar's my
Nomar.
favorite shortstop of all time.
Nomar. Why?
Why? I saw him at College World Series play both years. He played for Georgia Tech. I saw the year they won it. Jason Varitek was the catcher for him. It was just one of those things. It came out, Jeter and him at the same time. Kind of felt like you had to make a choice, one or the other. I picked Nomar, and I stuck with him, and Nomar's my favorite.
All right, Sergey.
Oh, I don't know yet. I'll come back to me on this one, too.
No, how's he in?
He's not necessarily my favorite shortstop of all time.
Dude, I'm taking Shawan Dunston.
Shawan.
Love me some Shawan Dunston.
Shawan Dunston.
Oh, God, I love Shawan Dunston.
The man would autograph the ball before he threw it to you. That's how hard he threw. And wild.
Yeah.
He'd get it, take his time, a couple times, and then just chuck
God,
it.
he had a cannon.
Chuck it.
I mean,
the other thing I remember about Sean Dunston.
this guy was a pretty good shortstop, too, but I never saw him play.
Who was it?
Luke Appling.
It's
Luke Appling.
Sean Dunston.
Or sorry, Aparicio. Aparicio was a shortstop.
Yeah.
Too, wasn't he?
I believe so, yeah.
Him and Luke Appling.
So the thing about Sean Dunston I remember is the night that Barry Bonds broke the home run record in a season. Is that it? Or the most total, 756, right?
Okay.
And he's doing the speech afterwards and everything else. Sean Dunston came up and interrupted him and said, I told you were going to do it. You owe me a Ferrari. And Barry Bonds sitting there like, all right. And he go on. And then Barry Bonds basically was like, he said I was going to break the record this year and said if I do it, I owe him a Ferrari. It was the craziest thing ever that he just came up and just interrupted him during that.
Good for him.
Yeah.
All right, third baseman.
Oh, third baseman.
George Brett.
That's a good one.
I like George Brett.
That's a good one. George Brett. Probably George Brett. Yeah, I'll stick with that.
I mean, he's a little overrated, but
It's not Mike Schmidt. He's overrated.
See, this way I get to take a guy with the Dodgers and the
Ron
Cubs.
Say.
Taking the Penguin,
The Penguin.
man.
All right.
Dude, anybody who runs like a penguin. That's right. Hey, dude, he's the greatest ever. Love him. All right. Catcher. Favorite catcher of all time. Serge, I know it's Fisk.
Yep. I like Yachty quite a bit. He's fun. Other notable catchers out there. I don't know. Jay's probably going Twins on this.
No, I'm not. Again, I don't really have any catchers that stick out in my head that I was like, oh, man, that's...
Had a distant relative that played for the A's.
I don't know anyone that sticks out in my head, catcher-wise.
Catcher-wise?
Yeah.
I mean, dude, I already know
I'm not Pudge, not Fisk, not Jody Davis. Not,
no, but you're not going back to the 80s.
Oh, no, then mine's going to be Joe Mauer. Yeah, you're right, twin. Yeah,
Right.
come on, I got sideburns.
What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
I'm taking Benito Santiago.
Benito Santiago. Yeah, he was a staple there on the 88 Donruss rookie cards.
Love Benito
Not
Santiago.
rookie, but yeah, 88. I remember having his
Didn't
88
he come
Donruss.
up with the Padres?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
So I liked Piazza and some of those other guys
All right,
too. But
we got to put
I liked Mike Scioscia.
We got to put a pin in this right now and come back to it because in a few seconds Emily's supposed to be calling us, Emily Van Buskirk, and she's our friend who covers for Yardbarker and whatnot. She'll
we
do
only
the
got
rundown.
two more to go.
Yeah, she'll do the rundown. Well, she should be calling any minute. She'll do the rundown of who she covers for. She'd been on Hot Mic with Jessica.
Hot mic.
And then we're going to talk the college football playoffs with her and see where it might be headed and where she thinks it's going to end up at the very end and if the committee is getting it right or not. Because Alabama's still sitting there at 5. And I know you can't take anything away with an injury. But it just seems like it's just ripe there for the picking at a one-loss Alabama's going to get in there.
That's who she's calling.
All right. There you go. Grab that.
Emily. Hi, Emily. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thanks for calling in again. You're live on the air.
Oh, awesome. I love going straight to live. It's super fun.
So, yeah, it is. It's way. And then Jay just runs out of the room. Just so you know, everything here is running as professionally as possible. Jay just runs out of the room. Emily's calling, hey, bye, I got to go. I'm like, oh, hey, good way to leave me.
Is he okay?
I don't know. Maybe he had to go to the bathroom. I don't know. Maybe he had a quick case of the load management or something. We don't know what's going on. It's NBA talk. It's NFL talk. But, hey, we have you in here to talk about NCAA football.
Yeah.
So the rankings come out. No change. I don't think that's a big surprise to you that nothing changed.
No, not really. We haven't gotten to the crazy part that could change things quite yet. You know, this week and next week are going to be the real litmus test for a lot of these teams up in the top spot. So it's about to get crazy.
Yeah, obviously the big injury this week to Tua Tagovailoa.
Oh, can you say that again? I don't know.
Tua Tagovailoa.
Tua Tagovailoa.
It's Tua Tagovailoa.
Here, I will tell you how to say it.
Okay.
It's Tua Tagovailoa.
Tagovailoa. Yeah.
I've been trying to teach these guys for months, Emily.
Hey, some people just stop and say Tua. At least I tried to butcher it.
It's true, and the correct pronunciation apparently is Tagovailoa, like a tongue.
Yeah.
But when we covered him at the Heisman, he said it was okay to say Tua Tagovailoa. So.
Tua Tagovailoa. Anyway.
Yeah, just keeping you educated.
Anyway, he's gone. I think. I don't know if does Bama still lose a game from here on out without him?
Will they still lose a game, or can they still lose a game?
Yeah, can they still lose a game? I mean, will they lose? I think they're at Auburn, right?
Yeah. Yes.
And?
Do you think that it's possible?
Yes, of course it's possible, but will they, do you think?
I guess it depends on what they're going to do with this backup quarterback situation. I don't think that Tua was like the big driving force. They have so many other good moving pieces. Najee Harris is like one of my favorite players in college football. He's amazing. Their defense is stout. So I would say you'd have to look at who is he going to start, in place of Tua, and how is that person going to assimilate. I think you'll know pretty quickly by the start of the game whether it's going to go well or not well for them. But going into Auburn is always tough. So I don't know. I think they definitely can lose. I wouldn't bet on it, but
no, I wouldn't either. I mean, I think what it's shaping up. Obviously, it looks like Georgia's probably going to win their side of the East. I'm sorry, they end up playing LSU for the West. But if it goes the way we think, LSU beats Georgia. I mean, do you think Bama's a shoo-in for the 4 spot, or do you think there's another team out there? Do you think Oregon has that chance, or what are your guesses?
It's I just had Jerry Palm on a podcast, like literally right before this. So he and I just spent about 45 minutes talking about the rankings and what he thought and how it matched up to his mathematical genius that he does. So he gave me a lot of good insight. As someone who covers the Pac-12 a lot, I can be a little too close to it at times. So it's good to see somebody like Jerry, whose team is Purdue, and doesn't really have a dog in the fight, and he's able to kind of give this overall view of all these teams. And the biggest question, he had Penn State ahead of the Pac-12 teams, which I can understand the argument for that because the strength of schedule, there's a lot of questions around, Utah and Oregon's big wins. What are they? Do they exist? But I think the biggest question is going to come down to, Oklahoma and the Pac-12. So the Big 12 versus the Pac-12 getting in on that last spot. The funny thing is Oregon and Utah are in the driver's seat 100% with this kind of cruise control mentality. Doesn't mean it's going to be easy. Oregon has to play Oregon State in the Civil War, and Utah has to play Colorado in their like somewhat rivalry game, and then they have to play each other in the Pac-12 championship most likely. So by no means is it going to be an easy task, but they have a way easier time than most of those other teams that you've mentioned. So, if everything goes according to plan, there should be a Pac-12 team in this year's college football playoff.
Okay. So if everything's going to plan, so Georgia doesn't.
Yeah.
Okay, or Georgia could lose to Texas A&M, or they could lose to LSU in the SEC championship. They drop out, and then so you see a Pac-12 team jumping Alabama for the 4 spot.
Yeah, well, depending on what happens, in Alabama, Auburn. If Oregon if they finish, with 1 loss, or Utah finishes with 1 loss, then why would they not jump a 1-loss Alabama who's, struggled a little bit with injury? And then if they lose to Auburn, they'll definitely jump them. And then if Georgia loses, that's 2 losses. Then you have to, by nature, put them ahead. I mean, if they only lose 1 game. If Oregon's 1 loss is to Auburn, then that makes a lot of sense, right?
What if Baylor goes undefeated then, and all that still happens?
I don't know. I can't stand Baylor.
I know.
Baylor's got a loss too, though, right?
I'm trying to be the argumentative one here. I
Yes,
get it. Yeah.
They do have 1 loss, and so Minnesota 1 loss. That's the Oklahoma issues. There's 1 loss there. If they don't, there's a lot of teams, in that situation. But this is the thing that Jerry and I talked about: is the Pac-12 is, and I've told you guys this before. It's not like this conference with these big powerhouse teams like Alabama or Georgia or these top-notch superpower, but top to bottom, the conference is scary and good and can be a challenge. I mean, look at Oregon State. They're second in the North. 2 years ago, they couldn't win a game. But there's teams here with a lot of talent and very dangerous, which makes it hard to navigate the conference. And I think this year's committee, like years past, the eye test is so important to these rankings, and that's something that benefits the Pac-12 and Oregon and Utah, because when you watch Utah play, they look like a playoff team. They're huge and they're athletic and they're defensively just punishing teams. So the fact that the eye test weighs so much in this process is beneficial for the Pac-12, and I think is why we're going to see a Pac-12 team, in the Final Four.
Is there a chance that Ohio State jumps over LSU, even if they both went out?
That's a really good question. I don't think so. And I will say that. And again, I don't know. Like, this committee is, when you think you haven't figured out what they're doing, you don't know. And they like to say, we start with a fresh sheet of paper each week, and we don't look at the past week. But if it's an eye test, then you do look at the past week. So I don't know how that works. But I think LSU's body of work and the way they play games is, in my opinion, more impressive than Ohio State. Now, I haven't seen Ohio State play in person yet, but I have seen LSU, and I think Joe Burrow is the most impressive quarterback that I've seen in a while. So I think, yes, they still stay there. I can't come up with enough of a reason to have Ohio State jump them, unless they, I don't know, unless there's some huge win and LSU decides to, not show up or have a bad game. That's the thing, is if anybody stumbles at this point, then they drop. It's precarious, man.
Well, the reason I ask is, Ohio State's still got to play Penn State this week,
right?
And then there's Michigan on their schedule as well, and then you have the Big Ten championship. This is also,
which could be Iowa.
Just like you have, you say you're so close to the Pac-12. Well, here in Big Ten country, we really, I personally, don't want to see in the semifinals Ohio State versus Clemson, because I personally believe they're the 2 best teams in college football. So I'd rather see them in the championship, not at 2 at 3 in the semis.
You like Clemson because a lot of people like to say that Clemson's, like the kid that copies other people's homework, that they don't bring a lot to the table. So that's interesting that I like Clemson, but I'm curious to see why you like them.
Because they're the defending national champions and they're undefeated. I mean, it's got
He's
nothing.
got a love affair with
Fair
Clemson
enough.
Carl too.
Just because
so.
because a guy on Twitter, Clemson Carl, who I have call into the show, likes Clemson, and he makes good arguments over why they should be where they are.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I mean, it just seems like Dabo's just got him ready. I mean, I guarantee you right now, he's got people doing work on any one of these teams in the top 10, getting ready for the championship game. Because he can do that because he's got no one to play in the ACC.
Yeah, I like Coach Ojo.
Right. And yeah.
So I that's why I don't want to see them in the semifinal, because I do think they're better than any SEC team right now. But we'll see, because LSU's defense, isn't that the question mark right now?
Yeah, if you're talking about, all these teams up there, out of all of them, I would say that would be the biggest question mark of the top 4 teams right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right. But I think they just have to hang on for, these 2 games, and I think offensively they offset it so much that it's just not an issue,
So we do this. We're in week 3 of this. There's 3 more weeks of the college football playoff rankings till finally it all comes out and everything. Is there the scenarios that can throw things off are Texas A&M, upsetting Georgia today, and then going on and does the same thing in does it again. Jimbo does it again in LSU when they play LSU, but that would be one of them. Ohio State just falling down. Doing what they do. Is there any chance Oklahoma gets into this?
That's the big question, I think. I don't know. It really depends on what happens with the Pac-12 for Oklahoma, because they're kind of in the same boat as in Oregon. So can they leap the Pac-12 champion? Right. That's the biggest question, and it's just going to depend on these last games for Utah. And Oklahoma and Oregon, and it's funny because they say Oklahoma isn't being penalized for their game control issue. The fact that they almost blow leads, and they have to come back from all these deficits to win games and stuff. And it's funny because the committee says that's not a metric, and it's not something that the committee looks at.
Okay.
But when you're looking at flow of game, how can you not look at that, right?
I agree.
How can you not look at the fact that you dig yourself a hole and that you have to climb out of it, or that you give up 30 points in the last quarter to almost lose the game? I think those things should matter. And I think the fact that Oklahoma can't put together a consistent, game, a full game, is something that's going to hold them back.
I'm going to try to find a prop bet, but what do you think the chances are that a congressman puts together some type of legislation that says the NCAA must go to an 8 or 16 team playoff formula because their school gets left out?
Well, they're not doing anything to help run the country right now, so they might as well.
Because this happens every year, right? Some congressman gets upset and they're like, "Well, I'm gonna put a bill together that's gonna say that the NCAA has to expand the playoff," and it always makes me laugh. So I'm gonna try to see if William Hill will allow us to do that prop bet.
I don't how do you even word that? How does that come about? How do you force that into being?
To be in a prop bet?
No, to be in legislation. How does one word a legislation bill that?
I don't know. They do it every year, though. Every year they say they're going.
Yeah,
someone says they can do it.
They have to justify taking 3 months off at a time, and all the money they make to be career politicians. It's just it's politicians.
I guess I can't imagine what that would. I guess I need to read one of these because I'm trying to think of the logistical writing that goes into something like that and how you would word it to actually make sense. And now I'm curious.
All right.
I'm interested.
I'll find something. All right. Right now the projections are Iowa going to the Holiday Bowl to play Washington.
Ooh.
Iowa early lines off the top of my head. Iowa minus 14.5. Does that sound right to you?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just kidding. I don't know.
Washington's not having a great year, so.
Yeah, 6-4 on the year so far, right?
Yeah, but it's more than the schedule. Easton is not good. I don't know who keeps saying that all these Washington quarterbacks are really, really good because they're just not. and their defense is not as good as years past. So it just looks bad, and especially the Cal beating them at the beginning of the year. That was just, I've never seen anything like that. So I would say Iowa would have a pretty good chance in that game.
All right, last week you went out to Marshall.
Oh yeah.
Tell us about that.
That was incredible. I didn't realize, as silly as it sounds, as I was flying in, that it was the anniversary weekend.
Mhm.
And to be honest, I didn't know the whole story. I mean, we've all heard the Marshall tale and the plane crash and the movie We Are Marshall and everything, but I didn't realize the impact that this kind of tragedy had on the whole community of Huntington, West Virginia. And as I'm flying into the airport, the very same airport that they were trying to reach that night, you know, my plane took the same route on the very same day that it crashed, like the end of the November 14th. And it was surreal. I mean, you could feel this energy all over the city when you were at the airport, and then, you know, going to the game and seeing them all wearing the 75 and hearing the players talk about, like, presences on the field. Just, they could feel things and the weird things that happened in the game itself, you know, must snaps and weird, you know, missed punts and all these just strange kind of things that would all favor Marshall. It was an incredible experience just to talk to people who had family and friends on that plane that passed away, and to see, you know, how it brought this community together. And one of the coolest parts, I thought, and I wrote a story about it, and the running back, Brendan Knox, is honestly one of the better running backs in the nation. You know, it's just Conference USA gets not a lot of attention, but he's phenomenal. He was wearing number 20, and his coach made him research the number 20 from, you know, the plane crash, the guy who wore it, who passed away. So he looked into the guy, and he started learning about him. And it turns out that this guy was from the same hometown as Brendan and went to the same high school.
Oh, wow.
I mean, what are the odds of that happening, right?
Yeah.
Like, it was unreal. And so he was talking about that and how it makes these players more invested in the game because the coaches make them do all this research and honor the players that passed away. So it was truly special. I probably never experienced anything like that again in my writing career. So
Where are you going at this week?
this week is big game week. Stanford Cal.
Ah.
The Axe.
Mm-hmm. That's always there's a story
the
that
worst one ever.
It's going to be the worst one ever.
Yeah.
But you're covering it anyway.
Well, you know, it's a family thing. My sister's coming home, and we go every year. It's a really fun tradition, and people don't take it that seriously because it's Stanford Cal. But the week is filled with cool events, and the game itself, you know, with the Axe.
Mm-hmm.
Axe game, and for Cal, this is a big deal because these seniors, Evan Weaver leads the nation in tackles. He's one of the best linebackers in the country, but he's all these accolades, and he'll leave Cal this legend, but he's never won a big game. And to these guys, that's kind of like the pinnacle of playing for Cal, is beating Stanford and also USC, but mostly Stanford. So, and this is the year where that's actually plausible for Cal to do. So it's going to be bad football. Like, it might end in a 3-3 tie, but, like, it'll be good, like, in the sense that Cal might actually triumph over Stanford for once.
Right on. Now, so tell everyone where they can read your writing at.
Absolutely. Yardbarker.com. There's a bunch of articles there, the Marshall article included, and sportsfanjournal.com.
Sportsfanjournal.com. And then your podcast?
Mm-hmm. Yes, Locked On Pac-12. I have a really good one coming out today. I interviewed the Stanford offensive coordinator, Tavita Pritchard, who is also a quarterback at Stanford. And tomorrow's is going to feature Jerry Palm from CBS, breaking down all the bowl, you know, projections, and he's just so numerically sound. I love talking to him. So, Locked On Pac-12 podcast, anywhere you listen to podcasts.
And then how can they follow you on Twitter?
At MLM, my nickname.
MLM.
Because I'm an amazing rapper. So, EMILNEM.
Right on. Hey, Emily.
Yeah, thank you, Emily. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for your time. You take care. Keep up the good work.
No problem. I'll see you guys soon.
Yep. Goodbye. All right, that's our friend Emily Van Buskirk out in California, and she covers, like she said, for Yardbarker and SportsFanJournal.com, and go ahead and listen to her there. And then I subscribe to the podcast, but definitely listen tomorrow with Jerry Palm. We'll be right back. We have Bobby Metcalf from the Quad City Times.
All right, everybody. Oscar's Pub is proud to bring you back. Pat McGurdy, that's right, live Friday, December 13th from 8 to 10:30 p.m. You can come join us that night. We're going to celebrate Christmas in style. We're going to have Santa Claus raffles. with every person in the house getting a raffle ticket of the chance to receive some gifts from our friend Santa. And if you bring in a toy for Tots that night, you're going to get your first drink free, helping out our Toys for Tot campaign. Once again, that's Pat McGurdy live Friday, December 13th, 8 to 10:30 at Oscar's Pub, celebrating Christmas in style.
This is Julian Vandervelde, and you are listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
ESPN 1170 AM.
Are you ready? Black Friday savings all month long at the McGrath Used Car Superstore of Davenport. Gavin McGrath, I know you're ready.
For everyone in the Quad Cities who's ready to trade, push, pull, or drag it in. Get more for your trade, get more savings all month long.
Black Friday is a McGrath family tradition.
Save more green, trade up now. Over 2,500 pre-owned vehicles to choose from with payments from $167 a month. Save all month on the Quad Cities' best selection of certified used trucks from $10,988. Black Friday pricing on pre-owned Silverados, Sierras, Rams, F-150s from $10,988. Now at the McGrath Used Car Superstore of Davenport.
Even if your trade has high mileage,
push, pull, or drag it in. Payments from $167 a month. Used trucks from $10,988.
What if my credit has a few dents or dings?
All credit applications accepted. Nobody works harder than our credit team to help get you approved.
The McGrath Used Car Superstore of Davenport, 4618 North Brady Street.
Log on McGrathAuto.com.
Score a touchdown on your next new or used purchase at Sexton Ford. With a huge selection of new Ford cars and trucks, you'll feel like you've entered the big game each and every time. You'll be treated like a pro player from sales to service, auto body to parts. Sexton also has a strong bench of mildly used vehicles too. Why wait? The game's on at Sexton Ford in Moline.
Oh yeah, Sexton Ford is the talk of the town.
At Crawford Company, we specialize in plumbing, heating, and air conditioning. Sports, on the other hand...
Hey, Crawford guy, go long!
No, I can't.
Here comes the pitch to Crawford guy. Strike three.
Come on, Crawford guy, take the shot!
Sports may not be our specialty, but home comfort is. Crawford Company, plumbing and drain cleaning, heating and air conditioning.
When the soil around your foundation shifts, it can cause serious problems for your home, including bowing, leaning, or cracked basement walls. Helitech's patented wall anchoring system will provide a permanent solution for bowing basement walls and will get the job done right the first time. For basement wall repair, trust Helitech, your hometown foundation repair contractor for over 30 years. Soil constantly expands and contracts, putting pressure against your foundation, causing it to bow or crack. Helitech is the area's only contractor that uses AB Chance, an American-made wall anchoring system to provide a permanent solution for bowing or cracked foundation walls. Helitech proudly services Central Illinois, the Quad Cities, Central Missouri, Southern Illinois, Southeast Missouri, Western Kentucky, and the greater St. Louis region. When it comes to basement cracks, don't ignore the problem. Trust Helitech to heal your home. Give yourself peace of mind knowing they will find the root of the problem, the solution, and heal it for a lifetime.
Heal your home with Helitech.
With the loss of a loved one, planning a fitting service can be a real challenge. At Whelan Presley Funeral Homes and Crematory, with our personalized service and attention to detail, you can be confident the service will be everything you wished for. We've been serving families in our area for generations. We would be privileged to serve yours too. Whelan Presley Funeral Homes and Crematory, Rock Island, Milan, Reynolds, and the Knox Chapel.
From the Sheedy Family Chiropractic Studios, this is the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM, KBOB, Davenport.
All right, guys, we're back here in the Hassle Castle, brought to you by Done Right Satellite and Dish, and joining us from our Quad City Times, the world-famous Bobby Metcalf.
Gentlemen.
Yo, Bobby.
I made a prediction before you got here.
That the holiday decorations would be up?
Oh.
No.
Oh. What?
Where?
You put your holiday direct?
No, you guys have.
What?
Not you, but
No.
the
They
mansion.
did?
I was going to say,
That's ridiculous.
We don't do anything.
We didn't. No, we didn't. I'm not in on board on that.
All right,
I'm anti before Thanksgiving. That's where I stand on that.
That's fair. So what's your prediction?
I predicted.
We want to talk to you about the Baseball Writers of America,
Yeah.
Association of America.
I got a prediction about what you're going to say about this year's nominees, first balloters, and everything else. Jay's going to run through it, and then you tell me what you think, and then we'll see if my prediction is correct.
All right, you have to get 75% of the votes to get in. All right. Here's the people. Larry Walker is in his last year, so that's where I'll start. Larry Walker is in his last year to be into the Hall of Fame before he can move on to the veterans. And last year, he got 54.6% of the votes. Is Larry Walker a Hall of Famer?
No.
Why not?
Coors.
Coors. You're going to use where he plays against him.
Yes.
So what about any player that played in the Dome?
It's a factor.
You can't use that against Larry Walker.
Yeah, you can.
We use the stats against him. He doesn't have
Well-
3,000 hits. RBIs, home runs don't add up. I'm sorry.
And he played at Coors.
He had 313 batting average, career batting average. But no, his home runs are at 383, and he's got 2160 hits. Does have he's got an MVP year, right? And a few All-Stars. All right.
Maybe he wasn't even the best player on that team. Maybe. Depends on your thoughts of Todd Helton.
Well, let's move over to some other people who are in their 8th year. All right. Kurt Schilling.
Yeah. Yes.
That's a reluctant yes.
I just don't like him, but yes, he's a Hall of Famer.
Roger Clemens.
Yes.
Barry Bonds.
Yes.
Sammy Sosa.
No.
Now, why not Sammy Sosa?
All right, who did you say was yes?
Kurt Schilling, Roger Clemens, Barry Bonds. All yeses. Also in his 8th year is Sammy Sosa. He only got, and the ones he mentioned, though, are the 3 that he said yes to had the highest percentage of ballot votes. Clemens had 59.5%, Barry Bonds 59.1%, and I'm sorry, Kurt Schilling had 60.9%. Sammy Sosa only had 8.5% of the votes.
The only thing that I would make the case for Sosa getting in the Hall of Fame is that he and McGuire basically saved baseball.
609 home runs.
You take
career home runs.
Yeah, but you take into account the steroids, the corked bat. There's a lot of other factors.
But what about the speculation of Barry Bonds?
But if you take away Barry Bonds' home runs, Barry Bonds is still a freaking Hall of Famer.
And take away Roger Clemens' wife. You know, because she's the one that ordered the.
All right, so you're all right. So this is where you're messing me up on my thing. So you already broke my prediction.
You take away like Sosa's home runs. Is he a Hall of Famer? No.
All right, so you're going with the theory that you thought Bonds was a Hall of Famer prior to the steroids, and I agree with you.
I saw a stat like if you take the 720 or whatever 70 whatever the record is home runs that Bonds hit in his career, and turn those all into strikeouts, he'd still have a higher it's like OBP than like Alex Rodriguez and some other Hall of Famers. He's a Hall of Famer. Also, your baseball. How do you not have your steroids or not? How do you not have your all-time home run leader in the Hall of Fame? Just like you don't have your all-time hit leader. You're a Hall of Fame that doesn't have its all-time hits leader or all-time home run leader in the Hall of Fame. It's a joke.
He also had over 500 stolen bases.
Yeah, he was a Hall of Famer before he started bashing home runs.
I agree with you on that. Definitely was before he was. When he was a Pirate.
Okay, and Roger Clemens, you say he's in.
Yes.
Let me ask you about Gary Sheffield.
Without the stats in front of me.
509 home runs, 292 career average. Let's see, over 1,600 RBIs, over 250 stolen bases.
Very borderline.
Very borderline. He's in his 6th year eligible.
Probably not.
He got 13.6% of the. But if you do these things, I mean, obviously, a lot of it is the name. A lot of it is the speculation of this thing. If you take away the
You
name,
said
and
no
you
to Sheffield?
Yeah. Or very borderline, but probably not.
Where did I say Sheffield made it? Didn't he make it on home runs?
Yeah, he's got the number for home
Then I
runs.
say he's in.
It's 509.
And he batted almost 300 or just
Almost. He
over?
batted 292. Yeah.
I say he's in.
Is Billy Wagner in?
No.
No.
Andy Pettit, is he in?
I'm gonna throw this chair through the window. That
you could
is
do
the chair in.
That's the chair.
This chair's on the all
Okay,
time
the
anti
chair.
Hall of Fame.
I also didn't think Mike Messina should have been in the Hall of Fame.
Okay,
either.
yeah. Well, that's a question. What about Manny Ramirez? Now you're looking at.
Just tell Manny he's in.
555 home runs, 312 batting average.
Yeah.
He's in.
He's in.
All right. All right. First
He
year
was
eligible.
Scary at times.
First year eligible. I'll take you through it. Derek Jeter.
Yes, but he should not be unanimous.
Agreed.
people who are saying, "Oh, he could be unanimous," and Jordan Rivera are nuts.
Bobby Abreu.
Don't know the stats off the top of my head.
All right, I'll give you some stats. Home runs. 288. 400 stolen bases. 291 batting average.
No.
395 OBP. A 60 WAR.
No.
Okay, Jason Giambi.
No.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cliff Lee. I don't have the numbers right in front of me because it's different as batting.
Come on.
I think the rest of them are no. And okay, now just tell me. These are all first year. Obviously not going in this year.
JJ Putz?
Possibility going in at all. Is Bobby Abreu going to get in?
No.
Jason Giambi.
No.
Cliff Lee.
Possibly.
Rafael Furcal.
Possibly.
Okay.
Just because of how long he played.
Yeah. Okay. 281. The hits, just not there. Eric Chavez.
No.
Josh Beckett.
Possibly.
Okay. Alfonso Soriano.
No.
412 home runs. Paul Konerko.
Possibly.
Okay. I think we said the same thing, possibly. He's just shy of the 500. He's got 439. And I don't think any of the rest of these are going to make it. This is just first year available. I don't think Raul Obana is going to make it, or Brad Penny. What about Adam Dunn?
No.
Okay.
God, no.
Get upset with me.
How many strikeouts does he have?
Stop bringing up.
I'll stop bringing up. I don't have that stat in front of me, but he's got a lot.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. I mean, he batted 237. So, but yeah, that's the Hall of Fame's coming up, and it obviously it goes through stages or whatever else. But how big do you think the class is going to be? I mean, is it going to be just Jeter? I don't think Schilling's going to make the jump. I don't think Barry Bonds going to make the jump.
If they don't get in this year, I don't know when they ever will.
I'm just. I guess I'm just kind of. You say no, like the Hall of
Baseball writers, again, you're keeping out the all-time home run leader out of the Hall of Fame.
No, I agree.
You can talk about the steroids all you want, but baseball's Hall of Fame does not have its all-time hits leader and all-time home run leader. It's a joke.
Yes, it is. And a lot of things they hold over people too. I have no problem with it. I think I'm just over the whole steroid thing. Just let them in type of thing.
Put asterisks next to them.
Sure, but baseball was okay with it.
Or create a steroid wings. Do something. You can do something to recognize it.
We all know the stories how Bud Selig walked around and just told everybody he cleaned up the cocaine problem in Major League Baseball, and why he turned a blind eye to steroids because, like you said, they saved baseball.
Have a meth wing. Have an amphetamine wing, and have a steroid wing.
Well, it was called Greenies, but yeah,
have a sign stealing wing. You can get all the Astros in there.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what's going to happen with that. What do you think is going to happen?
I didn't think you were going to nominate anybody, by the way. I thought you were going to make half the entire thing.
No. Really? You think I was going to say Derek Jeter's not a Hall of Famer? As overrated as I think Derek Jeter is.
Well, that's what I thought you were going to say.
You put Derek Jeter in a Kansas City Royals uniform his entire career, he's not being talked about the same reverence, but he's still a Hall of Famer.
But he's got 3,000 hits.
Yeah. Nothing. What I think should happen is they should ban Hinch. If this is all true, ban Hinch, ban the GM, and strip the World Series title.
I love this.
That's crazy.
You would never do it again. No team would ever do it again.
I'm with Bobby.
You can't ban the players because
I'm 100% with Bobby.
Because even though they were in on it, they were following. You can say they were just following orders, but it starts from the top. Hinch, Lunau, ban them for life, and strip their title. We see NCAA title stripped.
So who do they give it to then?
No one. It's just vacated.
It's just vacated. Yeah, I agree.
That would stop it. Never happen again.
Yeah, you cheated.
What do you?
Dude, I'm with him. What do you mean? You're not with him?
I think that's a lot.
You just like cheating. Apparently, you love cheating.
What they did is, I know that they. I know they went.
This just in, everyone. Jay Foster loves to cheat.
No, because
you steal signs though.
Build your case.
Completely different.
Prove the level of sign stealing they did. Prove that it violated policies and conduct and everything else, and then make your decision. And if that's the list, that's the list.
If they're guilty of everything they've been accused of, then that's what they should do. Ban those two from baseball. They banned freaking the White Sox for taking ban. They banned Pete Rose for betting on baseball. That they couldn't prove that Pete Rose actively influenced the outcome of a game. These guys actively, if it's true, actively influenced the outcome of a game. How is that not worse than what Pete Rose has done? What the Black Sox did. ban them.
It's a lot to get to. I think that a lot of things are going. I just think I don't think they're going to find the evidence that they're looking for to make it concrete.
I don't think they're going to look hard enough for the evidence of the.
There you go. Maybe that's what I needed to say. I think if it is there, it's going to be like let's just pretend it's not there, and everyone else, because they don't want that type of black cloud over something that happened 2 years ago or going forward.
Well, that's how you stop it.
I mean, so the Cardinals, they got the $2 million and they got draft picks, and someone else got banned for life. You're right. Someone in the front office did for stealing their
computers.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't think they're gonna. You're right. That's the best way to describe it. They're not going to look hard enough to find it. That's it. But that would be unprecedented.
Do you follow,
my jaw would actually drop.
Do you follow John Boy on Twitter?
Yeah, but
God, the stuff he's putting out there is.
Oh, because he's now searching for it and everything else.
And they've got the video on their World Series documentary that they found that the guy's watching this giant TV just behind the dugout, and then it's gone, mysteriously gone right after the game's over.
What was the thing between you, Darvish, and
and Yelich?
Yeah, and Yelich, yeah.
Yeah, because Darvish, because the Brewers are also being kind of implicated.
Yeah.
There was this moment sometime earlier this year where Yelich kept looking towards center field.
Yeah,
so Darvish stepped off. And so Darvish was like, "Oh, I wonder what's going on here." And then Yelich is like, "Be better than this. I don't need to." Or
no one needs
help to beat you.
Yeah,
and
no one needs help to beat you.
Who was it that responded though? Was someone was like, "Seriously, dude, I can't hit you, Darvish. This guy, what do you can you have some secrets or something like that?" Basically saying you're calling you Darvish a terrible pitcher, even though he's not. Yeah. He's a pretty good pitcher when he's on.
Yeah, he's got 8 pitches. But yeah, he said, no, I don't need signs to beat you or anything. So, but it says here that Rob Manfred said at the owners' meetings that they're not looking into any other teams. They're not going to expand the case.
That's fine. I mean, the other ones didn't win a World Series.
I'm telling you right now, my jaw would drop if they took the World Series title away.
That's what they should do.
But I don't think they will. I think it's going to end up being draft picks, and I think that assistant GM is going to have to follow the sword.
What if you take a draft picks, but you ban Hinch and Luno? So okay, you get to keep your World Series, but your manager and your GM are gone.
That's crazy.
They knowingly, if this is true, they knowingly cheated. They knowingly cheated to end.
I agree with you. I can't argue. No, I can't say no. They can't be.
Think about this though. I mean, they had Darvish's number in that,
and Kershaw in Game 5.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Well, Kershaw in the postseason.
Maybe
that's when it started.
Yeah, maybe this is the time when Kershaw finally shines through.
That's something a lot of people are talking about, is how reputations have been either made or ruined because of this. Mm-hmm. Some young pitchers have come in and they get shelled, and it's he's bad. Back to the minors for him, or who knows how? Maybe
points.
Maybe this Bregman, Springer, and Correa guys are Altuve are all so amazing players. Well, maybe they are, but also maybe they've got an advantage of knowing what's coming.
Those are good points. I
certainly. Hey, if you know as a major league hitter you're good enough. If you know it's a fastball coming, you don't have to worry about it breaking.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to worry about trying to pick it up out of the hand now, dude. Yeah, I'm. God. He brought up really good arguments. I'm with Bobby. Let's just
I'm not
burn
against
the whole thing down.
If you got a runner on second, steal away. But don't use technology.
Yeah.
Don't bring me into this. What I did was legit.
Oh, I don't know about what you were doing.
What I was doing was
you were
legit.
doing it with little kids, though.
I was taking the adult out of the situation.
Uh-huh.
The adult out of the situation.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's what I was doing.
Whatever way you got to code it there, Jay.
But I didn't have cameras on.
I know you don't like sugar, so if you want to coat it with ranch dressing or blue cheese dressing,
don't start that on Twitter too. My goodness, trolling for things on Twitter. Talk about that,
Bobby. If you have hot wings, do you dip them in ranch or blue cheese, or you eat them plain?
Blue cheese.
All right.
Blue cheese.
Both. I don't.
Yeah,
care.
I don't care
I'll
either.
dip in either one.
I'm not a ranch fan.
Either A says it's redundant. They're already on sauce, so you don't need to dip them in anything.
All right, then why would you have ketchup and mustard on your hamburger then?
Well, there's no sauce on a hamburger regardless.
There's seasoning on it though.
Not necessarily.
Eat whatever you want to eat.
I think Serge is done with it. His hip hurts him so bad right now. He's got old man sense.
No, that's always been my thing. Is what condiment belongs on a hot dog? It's America. Put whatever condiment you want on it. Put cheese and mayo on it. I don't care. It's your hot dog.
I like chili.
Whoever wants to. Don't care.
If you
You're
want
a
to
grown
make a
man.
BLT
Do whatever the hell
one,
you want to.
If you want to make a BLT one, you probably do.
Yeah.
Sorry, that just
I
reminds
saw
me
one with mashed potatoes and cheese on it.
That just reminds me of Endgame. Beginning of Endgame. Who puts mayo on a hot dog?
I've done it.
So last week, speaking of suspensions, Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
My world.
Huh? What'd you say? Serge?
It's my world. You don't like it, don't eat it.
Yeah, exactly. You can eat whatever makes you happy. In my world, it's whatever gets my whatever gets my 8-year-old to eat dinner. I don't care. I don't care what he does.
That was a comedian talking about Goldilocks and Three Bears and what a horrible life lesson example that was for kids as a fairy tale, nursery rhyme, whatever you want to call it. She's like, this porridge is too hot. This porridge is too cold. Girl, that ain't your food.
It's true.
Get out of there. Stop complaining. It's not yours. Back to Myles Garrett. Sorry, go ahead. Same thing. Suspend him.
Yeah.
Make him never forget it.
Suspend him.
But you mentioned the whole thing about, this might, when we talked about pitchers that maybe it could change their career or it sticks with them. Does this stick with Myles Garrett forever?
Oh, God, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it does.
What's
the first thing you think of when you hear Albert Hainsworth?
That he stepped on that guy's face.
What's the first thing you think of when you hear Ron Artest?
Malice in the Palace.
Are we
going
gonna
to be
nuts?
Are we going to
be world peaceful?
Are we going to be? Are we going to get in trouble for this?
Like,
yeah.
So like,
Yeah.
The first thing you think of when you hear Myles Garrett name is going to be now, bashing the guy's head in.
Do you think Mason Rudolph instigated it?
Yes, but it shouldn't matter.
Did he do anything illegal?
No, exactly.
No, instigating.
Did Mason Rudolph egg it on?
Yeah.
Yes, but that doesn't excuse.
That's like little kids in the back seat going, "Hey Jay, I'm not touching you.
I'm
not touching you."
Like,
and Jay slaps me, he gets in trouble. You fell for
the
it.
response was disproportionate to the.
Yes. So what do you say for suspension?
I think the rest of the season is just fine.
Okay.
I agree.
I don't.
Shannon Sharp had an interesting take on this. He said he would like to see it go into next season. Because, again, same thing you just said about the Astros. It would make somebody never do it again.
But here's the thing. That wasn't premeditated. Like, I can't guarantee that if you give Garrett a 16-game ban or a lifetime ban, that nobody's going to ever do this again because it's a heat of the moment. Myles Garrett did not, on that
go into
play,
the game planning on doing
or even
this.
into that play going, man, I'm going to rip Mason Rudolph's head off.
Sure, he reacted.
He reacted. Like,
sure.
There's no
crime of passion.
Yeah, it is. So I mean, you can't say that it's never going to happen again if they ban him or suspend him an entire season.
Right, but that'll make other players think a little bit twice about how they react in those situations. They need to cool it. They need to maybe react a little bit differently.
I don't know. In a football game, it's really hard to in the heat of the moment to think, oh man, wait, I shouldn't.
Yes
do
and
this
no.
because...
To not take a guy's helmet off and hit him with it.
Well, yes,
okay,
I understand that, but
right.
I'm saying if the exact same thing were to happen again, I don't know if
They said that they've seen guys get their helmets ripped off before, intentionally and unintentionally, but never seen it actually used as a weapon to hit him back with it. And they said they're lucky the way it hit him.
There was a guy that ripped someone's hat off and threw it in the air. He was a saint at the time.
Yeah.
I can't remember who that was.
You had Anthony Smith and Richie Incognito a couple years ago.
Right, and don't get me wrong, rules are different. I mean,
Speaking
you think
of
about
crazy people, Richie
look at the Raiders in the 70s.
Yeah.
Was it Jack Lynch? That defender that his move was the forearm to the head? You'd catch he would let you catch the ball.
Jack Lambert?
Maybe I don't remember.
But this
was he would let you catch it and then you get a forearm to the dome.
Stealer.
Like you'd think twice about catching that.
Ton of those defenses in the 70s were like that, but that was the league then.
Right.
There was no such thing as pass interference then.
I think the rest of the season is a fine suspension. If they wanted to say a full year, so 10 games in the next year, I just think that's that's overkill.
4 games.
I think rest of the season. So if it had happened in week 2, it should have been rest of the season.
Okay.
It should just be the rest of this season.
What? No. It should be a set amount of games. It shouldn't be so that means the last 2 games of the year everybody just goes nuts.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So you have to have a standard on how many games, not just the rest of the season. There's 1 minute left in the game. I'm going to take this guy's helmet off. They can only suspend me the rest of the game.
That'd be great.
Yeah. No holds barred. Here we go.
Well, you could say 6. He could say 6 games.
Sure.
You could say 6 games is the
sure
period.
No holding back now. It's the Bourbon Bowl.
Do you think if it goes into the next season, that way it still keeps it on the mind of everybody, how significant it is?
Well, yes. Yeah, but I don't know if they want to do that.
I don't think they want to do it either. And we're going to talk about that because they're flexing out the game, and I want to hear you guys' thoughts on that. We got to take a quick break first, though.
Make all your Sundays fun days at Pints with $2.50 20-ounce domestic draft, $3 you call it, and the NFL action that you crave oh so much with the Sunday ticket. Get into Pints also during the week, Monday through Friday at 5 o'clock. Pints offers complimentary Vans Pizza. Wash it down with some of that cold Pints beer at 5268 Utica Ridge Road in Davenport.
Hey, this is Goose, PA announcer for the Quad City Storm, and you're listening to Don't Hassle Us, We're Local.
ESPN 1170 AM.
In business, is it better to build your way to growth or buy your way? First Midwest Bank has ideas. It's a critical decision and different for every company. A First Midwest commercial banker can help you weigh your options because at First Midwest, they're not just bankers, but expert financial advisors. Talk to one today or visit wehaveideas.firstmidwest.com. M&A momentum, strategic momentum, business momentum. First Midwest Bank.
When the soil around your foundation shifts, it can cause serious problems for your home, including bowing, leaning, or cracked basement walls. Helitech's patented wall anchoring system will provide a permanent solution for bowing basement walls and will get the job done right the first time. For basement wall repair, trust Helitech, your hometown foundation repair contractor for over 30 years. Soil constantly expands and contracts, putting pressure against your foundation, causing it to bow or crack. Helitech is the area's only contractor that uses AB Chance, an American-made wall anchoring system to provide a permanent solution for bowing or cracked foundation walls. Helitech proudly services Central Illinois, the Quad Cities, Central Missouri, Southern Illinois, Southeast Missouri, Western Kentucky, and the greater St. Louis region. When it comes to basement cracks, don't ignore the problem. Trust Helitech to heal your home. Give yourself peace of mind knowing they will find the root of the problem, the solution, and heal it for a lifetime.
Heal your home with Helitech.
Brick's Tap Davenport is the Quad Cities' home for all of your sports action and good beer served properly. Kick back on Sundays and don't miss a moment of the games with the NFL Sunday Ticket. Come early on Saturdays and make Brick's your special tailgate spot for all Hawkeye games. Don't forget, Brick's great second floor bar is perfect for all of your special events, birthday parties, anniversaries, or just a great time. Call 563-594-6857 or check us out on Facebook for all booking inquiries. Brick's Tap, good beer served properly. West 3rd Street, Davenport.
Leaks, ruptures, nooks, cranny crevice too. You've got those wet basement blues. Call the absolutely dry guy. Call the absolutely dry guy. Put that water back in its place. It's time to reclaim your living space when you call the absolutely dry guy. Or visit us online at absolutelydryguy.com. This was brought to you by Absolutely Dry Basement Waterproofing.
At Crawford Company, we specialize in plumbing, heating, and air conditioning. Sports, on the other hand,
Hey, Crawford guy, go long!
no, I can't.
Here comes the pitch to Crawford guy. Strike three.
Come on, Crawford guy, take the shot.
Sports may not be our specialty, but home comfort is. Crawford Company, plumbing and drain cleaning, heating and air conditioning.
The change of seasons continues this week on the campus of Augustana College. The weekend starts with men's basketball. It's Illinois versus Michigan games with Alma and Calvin. The Vikings face off against Alma Friday night at 7 and Saturday at 5 versus Calvin at the Carver Center. Then on Wednesday the 20th, the Vikes play host to Loris. Game time is at 7. Women's basketball welcomes the U of Dubuque on Saturday at 2. For game times, locations, and more information, visit augustana.edu. Augustana College, a family-friendly front row seat to big-time small college sports.
ESPN 1170 AM is the Quad Cities sports leader and your home of the local sports show. Don't hassle us, we're local. Listen for a chance to win everything from tickets to free food. Every time you win and pick up your prize at the ESPN 1170 AM Pepsi ticket window, we'll give you a free Pepsi for the road as well. It's like winning twice. Get more chances to win by downloading the ESPN 1170 AM app or by going to ESPN1170am.com.
Every Sunday and sometimes Monday and even on Thursday, remember your home of the Chicago Bears. The Quad City sports leader is ESPN 1170 AM.
All right, everybody, we're back in the studio with Bobby Metcalf from our Quad City Times, and you're listening to Don't Hassle the Local on ESPN AM 1170.
All right, so we talked about the Hall of Fame. We talked about Major League Baseball. Bobby brought up possibly taking away the 2017 World Series title. And then we brought up Myles Garrett. Now, the NFL is moved, not this week's, but week 12, week 13 game. The Steelers at the Browns, or the Browns at the Steelers, which originally was supposed to be their marquee game on that Sunday. It was the last. There's 2 kickoff games at 3:25 our time. That was one of them, because there's no Sunday night game that week. Now they've moved it to a noon. What do you think about that? I mean,
it's pretty obvious what they're doing.
I know what they're doing. I think it's transparent and everything else. They're trying to take the highlight off of it, right?
Yeah.
But why? I mean, it's not like ESPN or anyone else can show.
It's surprising actually, because that game would draw a lot of ratings.
Yes, absolutely.
25 spot.
And I feel like the NFL forgets that they've signed a deal with DirecTV that you can show every game. Because like I said, Philadelphia, they'll split Pennsylvania, and the Bengals also play at noon. They'll split Ohio.
Maybe what we forget though is I'll bet that DirecTV's packages are down.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't have DirecTV, but I would tune into that game on my antenna.
I just think I think it's transparent to be like, oh, we don't want to highlight this when it's still going to be a pretty good game. I mean, it could have something to do with the wild card.
Yeah.
I mean, what did they do? You know what we need to look at? We need to look at when the Bengals and the Steelers.
We're talking about next weekend.
Yeah.
The Sunday night games is New England versus Houston. That's a 7:20 game.
On week 13?
Correct.
I thought there wasn't.
No, there's a 7:20
Oh,
game.
yeah, there is. Is that, you sure that's not the Monday night game?
Positive.
So there's no Monday night game that week. Oh, no, there is. I apologize. Vikings at Seattle. All right, so yeah. So the Sunday night game, but still in the afternoon. They moved that out. I was looking at that differently. Yeah, you're right. Because Monday night's on the other side of this little handy-dandy thing. But it's not like they're not going to still be pointing at it, the talking heads and everything else, you know?
Yeah.
So why not just have the referees talk to them ahead of time. Say
maybe Jim Nantz and Tony Romo don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, right. Sure. You know, because it was 2 or 3 years ago that there was a big Devontae Burfict. There was a big fallout, a big fight between the Bengals and the Steelers.
That was like week 17, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then but they had to play each other like 2 weeks later, and the referees stood right in the. They had security right down the 50-yard line to separate the two teams.
That was like week 16 and then the first round of the playoffs. Was that right? Is that right?
I'd have to look it up, but Serge, if you can find that, or
because that was
whatever
the game
else,
where Joey Porter and
which game?
It was the Steelers Bengals, and they had to do. They separated them. They had security.
Perfect killed Antonio Brown, and then Joey Porter ran in the field as a coach and was right.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, it was
where the Bengals had a lead and then committed 9,000 penalties in the game.
Which is
that was a playoff game, I thought.
Which is a lot of. Well, then they end up playing later on, but they beefed up security.
Maybe it was the next year, because I think that game was a playoff game with the Bengals.
I think the one you're talking about, with the helmet that I think that was a playoff game.
What year are you talking about?
I don't know.
16 or 17.
Yeah.
It says one in 15. Fight before the game. There's one in 17.
And then
there's one every year.
Yes. With the Bengals, it's just it's exactly what Bobby just described. The Bengals were leading, and then they just had a bunch of penalties. So I don't know. I just don't. I think by moving it, it's one of those things you're drawing even more attention.
Yeah, except the rest of the country, unless you have DirecTV, won't be able to watch it.
Yeah. I just don't like the move. Like I said, I feel like it's transparent, and just as much as with Major League Baseball, when you say they're not going to look hard enough, I think you can kind of read between the lines if you want to.
Be a good opportunity for Manfred to actually show he cares about the game.
Yeah, we've seen time and time again, even Roger Goodell, who doesn't really care too much about the game, cares about the almighty dollar. So, speaking of guys who rich and famous, Jerry Jones, he wants the Cowboys to focus more on running on Ezekiel Elliott after Dak Prescott just threw for 400 yards and he's NFL Player of the Week.
Yeah, he's not a very smart guy, Jay.
He wanted to draft Johnny Manziel.
But at least he's never sold signs.
Oh, you don't know that. Those Texans, they stick together.
He just hasn't been caught.
Yeah, maybe he hasn't been caught.
So, Bobby, the St. Ambrose football season's over.
Yeah.
And now you've got the Storm when they're in town, and they won't be in town until the 22nd.
Which is Friday.
Yep. And that's the John Deere Greenout night.
Yep, play Peoria. Home and home with Peoria.
And that's $2 beers, $2 hot dogs. We're going to have I think we're going to have the coach in tomorrow with Rothy. I don't know what players they're going to bring. So that should be a lot of fun to talk to them. And then the next home games are the 29th and 30th. There's the underwear toss for the homeless on the 29th, and it's a blackout game. So then they got the Pride Night on the 30th, and that's raising money for Iowa Illinois Safe Schools Alliance. First 1,000 giveaway. How's the Storm going this year?
They lost a couple of tight ones over the weekend, but beat Huntsville and then lost in overtime to Pensacola and then blew a late lead, like 2.5 minutes left on Sunday. So they really easily could have gone 3-0 over the weekend. Ended up going 1-1-1. But 3 points on the road is not bad. Still kind of figuring things out. Power play is getting better. Penalty kill is getting better, but still figuring things out. This will be a big weekend for them. Peoria's, leading the league as they always do. So they can either split or even take both games. That would be a pretty big statement to the league.
Well, so how are they doing in the standings, though, the Storm?
About middle of the pack.
Okay. And how does middle of the pack? I mean, I know it's brand new and everything else. And
middle of the pack makes the playoffs.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. And then, so the John Deere Green Out, that's a jersey night?
Yes.
There it is.
Yep.
Yeah, I see it over there.
Sure.
That's a good-looking jersey.
Oh, yeah.
Expect a lot of fights.
Really?
Peoria and Quad City, when they get together, things get rough and rowdy, usually.
And they're cat diesel guys down there, Jay, so there's going to be a huge fight. Tractor on tractor.
What? Oh, yeah, now I get it. Yeah, they don't like it. They don't like that stuff. That's actually the one night I have free. And my son's been to a Storm game, and I haven't yet. And he really enjoyed it. So maybe we'll head out there that night and go check that out. Wouldn't be too bad of a decision to do. All right, but next Wednesday, Bobby, we're off. What's your big Thanksgiving plans?
I don't have any.
You don't have any?
I'm working on Thanksgiving.
Are you really?
Yeah.
What do you got to cover on Thanksgiving?
Someone's got to put paper out, man.
Oh, you gotta answer the phone calls and put it together and everything else. Yeah. Man.
I work too. It's cool, Bobby.
I don't have no problem working on Thanksgiving.
Come down and have a beer afterwards, bud.
I think it's an overrated holiday.
I'll be open.
It's an overrated holiday.
Yeah.
I agree.
Don't you like turkey though?
Yeah, it's just food. That's all it is.
Put you to sleep. Great.
I think it's the most overrated holiday.
I know. I could drink all day, not get in trouble.
You can do that on any day.
Not get in trouble.
That's actually, I agree with him on that. If you're the one doing the cooking, which I normally do,
I can bust out the wine at 10 a.m. and there's not a eye batted at me.
Christmas is a much better holiday.
Christmas is a much better holiday.
You get gifts.
Halloween's a much better holiday.
No.
I don't like that. I've never been to Thanksgiving Day.
No,
the best part of Thanksgiving
Patty's Day is a great holiday.
The best part.
Drink all day there.
The best part of Thanksgiving is the 3 football games. That's it. But even then, they're usually terrible because it's always a Lions game and a Cowboys game. Who wants to watch that crap?
I don't know. It's better than watching the Bears right now.
No kidding.
You guys are wrong about the Hall of Fame, but he Metcalf's Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
That's great.
Speaking of
great direct quote from
Speaking of the Bears, what do you think Nagy said to Trubisky in that embrace that they shared? The come back from commercial and
I know your hip's hurting, man, but I know you're trying to play through a bad hip, but I gotta take you out. I love you, and you're still great. And don't worry, this isn't a reflection on how bad of a quarterback you are. No, I have no idea what he said. It's probably something like,
"I can't quit you."
I don't know what he said. That's the weird part of this whole thing. You go about, oh, it's a hip injury. It's like, okay, so what did you say to? What was that long embrace? Well, Chase Daniel looks like he's like just has a dip in, and it doesn't not even ready to play. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably like, I'm sorry this didn't work out. You're terrible. I'm terrible.
Do you think it was a hey, I've held on as long as I can, and it's just not there.
I think it was. Even though I don't think, and again, I didn't get to watch a lot of the game. I saw bits and pieces. I don't think like Trubisky was the reason they were bad that game.
No, not that game.
He's just one of the many.
Yeah, he's one of the many, but I don't think he was. But I think he was like serviceable in that game.
Well, they were having problems stopping.
Their offensive line is so bad.
Offensive line is bad.
They can't run the ball.
Yeah. Play calling's bad. Trubisky was bad. Yeah, defense was bad. Hey, got ourselves a team.
Defense actually played really well.
Like, I don't think so. I don't think the defense played good at all.
I think that defense played fine. That defense, the way the defense played, should have been good enough to win a game.
What went wrong then? What went wrong? Because people were very high. Bear fans were very high on this team. What went wrong?
Trubisky didn't get any better. In fact, he got worse.
That's exactly what went wrong.
The offensive line got worse. And Nagy got worse.
Bingo.
And defense just kind of petered out.
Well, I think defense got
defense
exhausted.
stayed the same.
Defense got
Has been
exhausted.
on the field all the time.
But even in games that they controlled the clock, they lost.
Kicking was great for like a game or two. It's
That's
awesome.
That's
We got a
true. Yeah,
kicker.
against Denver.
Eddie
Against
Money.
Denver it was.
All right, here we go.
And
Oh, he
that's
sucks.
the other thing. That's a win they probably shouldn't have.
Oh
Yeah.
no, we suck again.
Like Trubisky got worse, Nagy got worse, play calling got worse, offensive line got worse. Offensive line is horrible.
So does Pace get the blame?
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
He's got to go.
Everyone was saying, oh, he saved his job at the Khalil Mack trade, but I think he's actually cost him because he's got no draft picks now. They have no
He's
way.
got 2 in the second round. Listen, if you use those and you can get some solid offensive line help right there.
But if you're going to get a quarterback, you can't get a quarterback. They have no first round draft picks for how many years
Well,
now?
I think they're going to get. Cam.
I don't know. Not with Kyle Allen throwing 5 interceptions.
Do you think you can get? Do you think you can get the Allens? Do you think you can get Tua in the second round?
I don't know if I want to.
Ooh,
I don't think
interesting.
it's gonna. Why would I don't know. Like, who knows what Tua will be coming off of hip surgery? Also, Nagy. It doesn't matter who the quarterback is as long as Nagy's calling plays the way he is.
Yeah, I don't know what. I don't know what. I mean, he was coach of the year last year.
I know.
So, you can't. It's hard to put blame. I mean,
But have you watched those games?
yes.
The offensive play
And I haven't
calling-
watched them like all the way through, like to where I'm like, oh. But I mean, I've seen
The
seen
offensive
enough
play
of them.
calling
Yes.
is terrible.
I don't know what the answer is, but I do know, like I said, he was sought after, and he was.
Do they not
coach
know
of
how
the
to
year.
run a quarterback sneak?
No.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Well, they don't know how to. He's definitely not your option quarterback.
He didn't know how to run an I formation. He had to learn how to run the I formation on the fly. This is 2019.
I feel like that's everything that Mitch Trubisky has done has been on the fly.
I'm talking about Nagy.
And I'm talking, yeah, but I'm talking about the same
This is
thing. with Mitch.
2019, and an NFL head coach didn't know how to run an I formation.
Because he's innovative and he doesn't do it the old school way.
The whole point of innovation is building off of what came before it.
Fair.
You should know, like.
That's a Webster
Hell,
dictionary.
crap.
Right
Hell,
there.
crap. His first play as a head coach, he ran the T formation. So clearly he knows his history.
Yeah.
So he should be studying the evolution of offenses, and in that should be seeing what an I formation is.
Well,
high school teams know how to run I formation. Why does an NFL team not know?
The thing is I don't know where you're going to go with this. What the answer is, like you said, you don't have draft picks, you don't have a quarterback. If you lose your coach and your GM, how long can you go for? How far have they been put back?
A lot, a long ways. They're in trouble. They're the Browns.
That's what I was just going to say. They're the Browns. Are they? I mean, tell you what, if
You're on to something, Bobby.
They're the Browns of the NFC.
I'll tell you what, and if you're the Rams, you're not.
Well, I don't
you're,
think they're
you're
as
number-
bad as
you're-
the Giants
you're-
yet.
You're 1B
Or
if
the
you're the
Redskins.
Rams.
Okay, yeah, the Redskins are the worst organization in football.
Yeah.
The Giants aren't that far behind right now.
I don't know.
I mean, do you think that
I'm
Danny
willing-
Dimes is...
I'm willing to give Danny Dimes more than 8 games to see what he is.
Okay.
They've got some okay pieces on that team. They need to get better offensive line, but in defense. But I think they're a better run organization than the Bears are. Won 2 Super Bowls in the last decade.
Well, trying to think of what other... I mean...
The Redskins,
right now, would you rather be...
The Redskins are the worst organization in football.
All right, other than the Redskins, if you're the Bears, right, would you rather have the Bears' future right now or the Tampa Bay Buccaneers' future right now? Because they're having problems with a very good quarterback. Well, I'm sorry, a number one
Bucks.
pick.
Bucks. I would want to be the Bucks.
You'd want to be the Bucks.
Better coach.
And I'm just going to go NFC teams for now. Ones that are... Would you rather be the Cardinals or the Bears?
Cardinals.
Lions or the Bears?
Bears.
Okay.
That's where you need to look at it.
They're very close.
compared
But
to, yeah.
Patricia's supposed to be this defensive mastermind, and they have one of the worst defenses in the NFL.
What about... we brought it up earlier. What about the Panthers or the Bears?
Panthers.
Yeah, I like McCaffrey a lot.
I like Rivera. Rivera's a great coach.
Yeah, I mean...
That owner isn't going to put up with this much longer. He came out this week and said this. So
You're
he'll be quick to pull a riverboat round. That
they're
owner
playing
of
with
Carolina
a
said
they're playing with a quarterback who
he's not putting up with that.
Shouldn't be starter.
All right, Bobby, thank you so much for coming in today and hanging out with us. You guys follow him, Bobby Metcalf88 on Twitter. Thanks to Emily Van Buskirk for calling in. And thanks to Jason Mason for calling us as well. I look forward to seeing Matthew on the sidelines in the second quarter of the Iowa game. You guys have a hassle-free Wednesday. We will see you tomorrow. Enjoy yourselves, Quad Cities.